Chapter 7:14. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That's true. 13th junior brother is hard to deal with, but 9th senior sister can. However, with 9th senior sister's temper, that guy is in for a bad time, Guanyi said with a smile. Yes, your 9th senior sister is good at managing the household. She and your 6th senior sister are polar opposites. With them by your 13th junior brother's side, he will have less to worry about. Now let's go to Dongshan City's Tianji Tower and ask around. Yu Yangyu said. Yu Yangyu and Guanyi arrived at Dongshan City's Tianji Tower branch. Yin Shui personally received them and told Yu Yangyu about the current situation. That means Night Sorrow might not be in Sky City right now? Yu Yangyu asked with a frown. %/only CX positive version V, I and others? Is stolen F version 3G? Even if the young master isn't here, Guardian Yang Lei and Guardian Sikong should be. It's the same if you go there, Yin Shui said with a smile. Then let's go there and take a look. Even if he couldn't see Night Sorrow, Yu Yangyu wanted to see if Aoi and Yang Lei were doing well. Yin Shui decided to personally send Yu Yangyu and Guanyi over. After they arrived at Qingtian City's Celestial Peak Pavilion and asked around, Lan Yuxuan personally sent Yu Yangyu and Guanyi to Sky City. Aoi and Yang Lei were very happy to see each other. Yang Lei personally prepared the food and wine, but Lan Yuxuan had left. Now that the higher-ups of Tianji Tower weren't around, she had a lot of things to do. While eating, Yu Yangyu told them why he brought Guanyi along. Guanyi also stood up and said that he was here to train himself. In the team he was Guanyi, not Night Sorrow's senior brother. However, the only person who can make decisions in the God-slaying squad is 13. We don't have the authority to do anything. Let's wait for 13 to return first, Yang Lei said. I understand. Guanyi nodded. He understood the situation of the God-slaying team. After eating and drinking tea, Guanyi talked about Chen Chen's matter. After hearing Guanyi's words, Yang Lei's face turned cold. That bastard, he really went this far. I'll go back and deal with it later. The human heart is hard to fathom. However, we still have to inform Father Gu about this matter, said Sikong Chiyu. Then we'll go back tomorrow. Yang Lei wouldn't tolerate anyone using Night Sorrow's name to mess around. After sending Yu Yangyu back, Yang Lei followed him to Danding City. Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei met Papa Gu and told him about it. Love Gong little Seika, he's really disappointing. He's going down a path we don't want to see. Yang Lei, you go and deal with it. No matter how you deal with it, it won't be too much. He only interacted with Night Sorrow because of me. Night Sorrow's name isn't something he can use, Papa Gu sighed and said. I won't do anything to him, but he can no longer hold any management position in the cities in the Medicine Valley area, Yang Lei said. Alright, we're already being extremely benevolent by not pursuing the matter. Papa Gu nodded. After that, Papa Gu also expressed that he didn't want to see Chen Chen again and asked Yang Lei to deal with it as she saw fit. After that, Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei went to Zhiyuan City together. When they saw Yu Yangyu and Yang Lei, the governor of Zhiyuan City and a disciple of the North Pole Peak, Zhang Ling, led his people to bow to them. Yang Lei stood up and looked at Chen Chen, who was wearing a brocade robe, and said, Chen Chen, if you relied on your own ability to become a deacon or a manager, that's your own ability. But relying on the name Night Sorrow won't do. From today onward, you're not allowed to hold any management position in any city in the Medicine Valley area. Why, am I not doing well enough now? Is this Night Sorrow's idea? Chen Chen's expression changed. Night Sorrow doesn't have time to care about these things and he doesn't know about this. I don't know if you're doing well, but you didn't get to this position by relying on your own ability, but by relying on the reputation of others, Yang Lei said. I'm not convinced, Chen Chen said coldly. I don't care if you're convinced or not. Zhang Ling, in the Zhiyuan City area, no one is allowed to use Night Sorrow's name to do things. Take care of whoever you see. Yang Lei looked at Zhang Ling. This is my dereliction of duty. Zhang Ling bowed and said, Master, then this disciple will take her leave. Without even looking at Chen Chen, Yang Lei bowed to Yu Yangyu. Go. I'll inform all the cities under the jurisdiction of the Medicine Valley of this matter. Yu Yangyu nodded. After hearing Yu Yangyu's words, Chen Chen's expression turned even uglier because this meant that he would be completely banned. It's your own mentality that's flawed. Back then, Night Sorrow prepared resources for you and even prepared a rank 4 mount for you, but you chose this path yourself. From now on we're strangers. After glancing at Chen Chen, Yang Lei left Zhiyuan City. On Yu Yangyu's side, accompanied by Zhang Ling, walked around Zhiyuan City. As for Chen Chen, no one paid any attention to him. Yang Lei wanted to talk to Papa Gu about the situation and then return to Sky City. Temperament determines success. No one can do anything about him like this, but don't tell 13 about this. It's meaningless, Aoi said. Then Aoi and the other two girls took Guan Yi to the training field of the god-slaying squad. They introduced Guan Yi to Ho Jian and Shui Ling and explained the situation. Sixth senior sister, you know that only the captain can make the decision to recruit people, but there's no problem with everyone cultivating together, Ho Jian said. Then Guan Yi stayed behind to cultivate with everyone. Night Sorrow cultivated in the Realm Sea every day, but after going 100 miles deep, Night Sorrow stopped because this place was just right for him to train. Usually, Night Sorrow used the Void Splitter Spear and only used the Reincarnation Spear when the pressure was particularly high. In addition, Night Sorrow also found that the energy surrounding Haotian City did not dissipate. Night Sorrow also noticed that the energy was not naturally wrapped, but seemed to be operated by a formation. The fact that the energy did not dissipate was a good thing for Night Sorrow because he could continue to cultivate without losing the training of the space turbulence due to environmental damage. As for consumption, Night Sorrow did not mind. Recently, he had been sorting out the resources in the storage ring. Some mid-grade spirit stones and low-quality top-grade spirit stones were given to Shao Kong. Shao Kong also liked this situation. This was also a training process for her. On this day, while Night Sorrow was shuttling back and forth in the space turbulence of the Realm Sea, he found something unexpected. He found that there was a figure in the space storm about a dozen miles ahead. This made Yi Shang very shocked because he hadn't seen anyone enter, but now there were people inside. Night Sorrow shuttled back and forth in the space turbulence while observing the situation of the figure. As he observed, Night Sorrow found that the figure was spinning in the space storm and was not moving on its own. Night Sorrow, that's a corpse. There's no soul fluctuation. Shao Kong communicated with Night Sorrow. A corpse? It's not annihilated or torn apart in the space turbulence. What's going on? Night Sorrow was very shocked because he could not understand what was going on. Get close to it and get it out, Shao Kong said. The 5th update has arrived. Who cares about a sister? Also, after I posted an announcement to stop updating, some brothers and sisters gave me some tips. Today it's even more of a return. Chapter 7:15. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. No, that area is very dangerous. It's very difficult for us to get close. Love gone little say, Chu. Night Sorrow observed for a while and said. Night Sorrow could travel through the spatial storm, but it also depended on the intensity of the spatial storm. If it was too strong he could not get close. The spatial protective chi shield could be cut, but it couldn't do so in places with high density. Where the corpse was, the spatial storm was filled with black and red energy, which was destructive energy. The void protective chi shield could withstand it, but it would consume a lot of energy. Something that can survive in that spatial storm is definitely not simple. If we have the chance, we have to get it and study it, said Shao Kong. Night Sorrow also understood this, so he kept his eyes on the corpse as he traveled through the spatial turbulence. If he had the chance, he would get closer. The corpse also drifted toward the periphery of the spatial storm. Night Sorrow was also trying his best to get closer. As he got closer, Night Sorrow saw that the corpse was not a normal human. It was 3.5 feet tall and had 2 hideous curved horns. Yi Shang could see that it was an incomplete demon beast. He knew that it wasn't a human corpse. Night Sorrow kept getting closer. When he could not take it anymore, he entered the spacetime pagoda to recover and let Shao Kong pay attention. At this time, Night Sorrow did not care about the consumption and directly gave Shao Kong 100 high-grade spirit stones. Love gone little say, Chu. After recovering, Night Sorrow continued to approach the corpse. With Night Sorrow's efforts and the spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow and the corpse were getting closer and closer. What's going on? Night Sorrow found that there was a lot of hair on the surface of the corpse. When the energy cut the hair, it was shaken away. Shao Kong could not answer Night Sorrow's question because she did not know either. This area was very dangerous. Night Sorrow was very cautious. He did not want to be swept into a place with violent spatial turbulence, even if he had Shao Kong. The spatial turbulence around Night Sorrow had reached a terrifying level, and the entire realm sea was filled with roiling energy. Night Sorrow continued to use his body technique to slash, and the reincarnation spear also continued to attack, blasting away the spatial turbulence that was attacking him. The corpse floated outside, getting closer and closer to Night Sorrow. When there was still about 1 li left, Night Sorrow discovered that something was wrong. The spatial turbulence had changed direction, and the corpse was about to be sucked back. This situation made Night Sorrow anxious. If the corpse was sucked back, then all his efforts would have been for nothing, and all his efforts would have been for naught. With a low roar, Night Sorrow unleashed a spatial rend. His body followed behind the spatial rend as he rushed towards the corpse. After unleashing 2 spatial rends, Night Sorrow was still a few dozen feet away from the corpse. Night Sorrow exhaled and poured the energy of the Myriad Dao Tome into his left hand. Using the energy of the Myriad Dao Tome, he wrapped the sky-piercing spear with the 5-clawed pterosaur tendon and flew out. He wrapped the sky-piercing spear around the corpse's leg and pulled it back fiercely. Night Sorrow was afraid that the 5-clawed pterosaur tendon would be destroyed by the spatial turbulence, so he wrapped it with energy. As Night Sorrow's arm shook, the corpse was pulled to his side by Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow wanted to put the corpse into his storage ring, but after testing he found that he could not do so. Night Sorrow's expression changed. He grabbed the corpse's horn with his left hand and cut through the spatial turbulence, rushing out. This place was extremely dangerous. One careless mistake and he would be torn apart by the spatial turbulence. Night Sorrow tried several times while carrying the tall corpse, but he could not put it into his storage ring. "Let me try." At this time Shao Kong, who was in Night Sorrow's sleeve, roared. Following that, the spacetime pagoda's body suddenly enlarged. The bottom layer opened and a spatial vortex appeared, pulling the corpse into it. Night Sorrow cut back and forth, avoiding the spatial turbulence. He saw that Shao Kong was struggling to pull the corpse, but after a few breaths of time, Shao Kong still managed to pull the corpse into the spacetime pagoda. At this time, Night Sorrow grabbed the Sikong pagoda and continued to rush out. After rushing out for a distance, he entered the spacetime pagoda to rest. "You can do it. Otherwise it would be very troublesome to carry it out. When I want to recover, I don't even know what to do with it." Night Sorrow took out a wine jar and drank a mouthful. $in forever equals free to read novels for a long time. Just now, I used 20 high-grade spirit stones. My body became bigger and was washed by the spatial turbulence. I can't take it anymore, Shao Kong said. After resting for a while, Night Sorrow continued to rush out. This was still a dangerous area. Night Sorrow didn't want to stay here any longer. After 4 hours, Night Sorrow rushed out of the spatial turbulence and arrived at a safe area. Looking back at the black and red spatial turbulence, Night Sorrow breathed a sigh of relief. He finally rushed out. His body was covered in sweat. The main reason was that he was too nervous. If he wasn't careful, he could have died in there. Flying back to the border of the realm sea, Night Sorrow looked at Xuanhuan and Ling Long, who were still cultivating. Night Sorrow then returned to his tent. Just as he sat down and drank a mouthful of water, Wu Lingfei came over. "Why are you sweating?" Seeing the sweat on Night Sorrow's face, Wu Lingfei was shocked. Night Sorrow was a venerable. It was very strange for him to sweat. "And Fei, I encountered something today." Night Sorrow waved his arm and brought the corpse into the tent. "What is this?" Wu Lingfei's face was full of shock. Then Yishang explained the situation he had encountered from beginning to end in detail. "You're really bold. You dare to touch anything." After speaking, Wu Lingfei squatted down and began to study the tall corpse. As she observed, Wu Lingfei's face changed. "It's an ancient mutated beast, golden growler. It's above the saint level. Its fur is not corroded by any energy. Its spirit sea is empty, but there's still a very strong energy in its body. Its heart is still beating, but it's not obvious," Wu Lingfei said. "It was swept here by a spatial storm from Clear Sky City. In other words, it's related to the disappearance of Clear Sky City. It's from the same era?" Night Sorrow's face was full of shock. "It's possible. It doesn't have the aura of Nine Realms World. It shouldn't be a life form of Nine Realms World. It's dangerous. We can't give it a chance to recover." After speaking, Wu Lingfei waved her arm and a white palm print entered the tall corpse. Night Sorrow also knew that this was an unstable factor, but he didn't expect this guy to be so strong. "Sit down. Let's talk slowly. Golden Growler is a time attribute beast. It has never appeared in our Nine Realms world, so the origin of this corpse is worth thinking about. And he also has a storage ring." Wu Lingfei reached out and took the storage ring from Golden Growler's left hand, then threw it to Night Sorrow. Then Night Sorrow opened the storage ring and took out all the resources inside. However, there were many things that Night Sorrow didn't recognize. Saint Crystal. This guy actually has Saint Crystal. It seems that things are really complicated. Wu Lingfei picked up a crystal and said, "Saint Crystal Core? It doesn't look like it," Night Sorrow said. Chapter 7:16. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? This is a wonderful novel for you to read. There is such a spirit stone? Why haven't I heard of it? Night Sorrow asked. Love go little say webku because our 9 zones world doesn't have high-grade mines, Wu Lingfei said to Yishan. Unless the space and the world are very mature and old, they can't have such mines. This golden growler must have something to do with the ancient investiture of the gods. Take the Holy Spirit Stone. Yishan nodded and put away the 7 to 8 Saint Spirit Stones. Following this, Wu Lingfei continued to organize the resources that Yishan had taken out from his spatial ring. There were 100 top-grade spirit stones and a few elemental crystals. However, there weren't many, there were only a few lightning and wind elemental crystals. Why are you putting them there? Keep them, huh? There are also desolate stones like these. They will be very useful for you, Wu Lingfei said as she picked up a yellow speckled crystal. Aren't desolate stones only found in the desolate sea? How could he have them? Night Sorrow could not understand. The desolate sea is not only in the 9-domain world but also in other worlds and spaces. This golden growler is a time attribute beast, so it is reasonable for it to have desolate stones. These 4 desolate stones are of high quality. Take them and use them. They can probably increase your power of desolates by a lot. How is your power of desolates now? Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow told her about the fusion of his power of desolates and body refining energy. You took a little risk, but since you succeeded, there is nothing to say. This guy has a lot of refining materials. It seems that your luck is very good. Also, it is hard to estimate the situation in Haotian City. It should be a battlefield, Wu Lingfei said as she looked at the golden growler's body. I can't keep this guy in the storage ring. Night Sorrow nodded. He also realized that things were not simple. There are some things that I don't mind telling you. Saints aren't the focus of cultivators. When you cultivate to the extreme, you can achieve immortality. This guy's body is immortal, but his life force has been frozen by Auntie Fei, Wu Lingfei said. What should we do with the corpse? Night Sorrow asked. He was worried about this problem. It has to be destroyed. His divine sea is empty, which means that his soul is not here. If his soul is not destroyed like the dark spirit saint, then his soul can find a body and be reborn. So we can't keep this corpse. Wu Lingfei said. That's not right. If his soul isn't destroyed, I can't open his storage ring. Love gone little sake, Night Sorrow said. That's not an absolute assumption. If his soul was severely injured, the soul imprint on the storage ring would naturally dissipate. If his soul recovered and he couldn't find his body, the storage ring wouldn't be imprinted again. You can still open it, said Wu Lingfei. I see. Auntie Fei, you can deal with the corpse as you see fit. I have no objections. Night Sorrow nodded. Let's do it this way. Auntie Fei will take this corpse and show it to Senior Long Xianxia. If it's destroyed, Auntie Fei will give you the materials on his body. Wu Lingfei said. Okay, Auntie Fei, deal with it as you see fit. Night Sorrow nodded. Soon after, Wu Lingfei left with the corpse. Yishan was making tea. He also needed to relax a bit. This time he had been really nervous. They had entered the depths of spatial turbulence. If they weren't careful, they could have died. Night Sorrow had the spacetime pagoda to protect him, but it could only be used in the cracks of the space turbulence. Once he was sucked in, he would be surrounded by the destructive energy. He couldn't enter the spacetime pagoda even if he wanted to. It was normal for him to be destroyed. The space turbulence was the manifestation of the heavenly Tao. It was very difficult to resist. While Night Sorrow was drinking tea, Xuanhuan and Ling Long returned. Captain, your cultivation base is very condensed. Are you going to break through? Xuanhuan looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. He could see the depth of Night Sorrow's cultivation base. It's condensed enough, but it's not controllable enough. I still need to cultivate. You have to pay attention to this. Condensing one's true qi is one of the aspects of a solid foundation. You can't ignore the degree of control. You have to know that it involves the speed of true qi circulation, explosive power, and so on. Night Sorrow looked at Xuanhuan and said, I know. But no matter how solid it is, it's much faster than natural cultivation. Xuanhuan smiled. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to continue cultivating in the realm C. Ling Long said. Safety. Safety first. Night Sorrow looked at Ling Long and said. He had the spacetime pagoda to protect him, but Xuanhuan and Ling Long didn't. Captain, don't worry. We won't do anything rash. Xuanhuan nodded. After the 3 of them drank some tea, Xuanhuan and Ling Long left. They had their own tents. Night Sorrow also sat down to cultivate. But it was just a normal cultivation. He had originally planned to absorb the power of desolates to cultivate. But now that his myriad Dao treasure tome was at level 9 Dao querying realm, if he cultivated too quickly, it would have the disadvantage of an unstable foundation. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Long Xianxing and Wu Lingfei were studying the corpse. It's an ancient beast, the golden growler, and its cultivation base is very high. Because of the special characteristics of its body, it wasn't destroyed by the turbulence of space. If this fella's soul isn't destroyed, it's possible for its soul to return to its body. So we can't give it a chance to live. Let me destroy it. Long Xianxing nodded to Wu Lingfei. After that, Long Xianxing opened and closed his hands, and a yellow space with a diameter of 10 feet appeared. Then the corpse of the golden growler was sucked into the space. After that, the space began to distort, and the corpse of the golden growler was torn apart. After that, the space continued to distort, and the corpse of the golden growler was completely crushed. Then flames appeared in the space and burned the corpse. Wu Lingfei was shocked, because Long Xuanxing's first move was a fusion of several attributes. The chaotic space was a fusion of the earth, space and wind attributes, and also the fire attribute. There are still 2 horns that haven't been destroyed. But it doesn't matter. Long Xianxing waved his hand, took out the 2 horns and handed them to Wu Lingfei. At the same time he kept his chaotic space. What they didn't know was that at this time in a special space, a man in a golden robe was shouting, "Who destroyed this king's body? If this king finds out, he will definitely turn you into ashes." After shouting for a while, the man in the golden robe calmed down. "Jianghu, what's going on?" A black-clothed man appeared in front of the golden-robed man. "Bo Qing, this king's body has been destroyed. There is no connection with him now." The golden-robed man Jianghu said. "WC is the only genuine copy of Asterisk. It's and he was robbery. Edition 1-inch. Could it be that there's another expert in the 9-domain world? Otherwise, Brother Jianghu's body wouldn't have been destroyed so easily," said the man called Bo Qing by Jianghu. "That's hard to say. This king will definitely not let this matter rest. Since he can't return to his physical body, he'll have to think of some other way to reconstruct his physical body." Jianghu replied coldly. "Yes, this must be done. After we recover, we have to go back. We've really had enough of this damned place." Bo Qing said irritably. "But we didn't complete the mission. If we go back, we'll be in big trouble." A hint of fear appeared on Jianghu's face. Chapter 717. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Jianghu did not speak anymore and continued to meditate. Bo Qing also got up and left the area. Baidu searched Love Go divided by Xiao at www.ux. Come in the 9 domains world. After Long Xianxing threw the horn to Wu Lingfei, he sighed and shook his head. "You guessed it right. The soul of the owner of this body is not destroyed. Just now, this seat felt that the destroyed body had a connection with the outside world. At the same time, I also felt that there was karma attached to me. This seat is hated by someone." "Is that so?" Wu Lingfei asked in surprise. "Yes, this world is really chaotic. We only saw the body of a golden growler. What about the rest? This is just a little bit of the surface of the water. There will be great horror in the future." Long Xianxing said. Baidu searched Love Go divided by Xiao at www.ux. What should we do? Wu Lingfei also had a headache because the situation was very difficult to control. "Domain Lord, you have to speed up the refining of Dongxuan's origin. Then even if the world is in chaos, Dongshan region may still be a pure land." Long Xianxing said to Wu Lingfei. "Yes, I will work hard." Wu Lingfei nodded. At this moment, Xialanjun and Nanshan Sheng came over with a young man. Seeing this young man, Long Xianxing narrowed his eyes and Wu Lingfei also had a strange feeling. "Yes?" Wu Lingfei asked. "He's a cultivator from the South Parting region. I'm sure you've already sensed it. You're right, he has the South Parting source in his body. I hope you two can keep this a secret." Nangan Xing nodded to Long Xianxing and Wu Lingfei. 300 years ago, didn't Nanli region's origin recognize him as its master? How old is he? Wu Lingfei asked in surprise. "This junior is Liangyu. 300 years ago it was my ancestor. Although my ancestor obtained Nanli's origin, he could not refine it. Then he passed it to this junior." The burly young man said. "So that's the case. Then can you refine it?" Long Xianxing asked. "He's a little strange. When he was born, the South Parting Sect's source energy had already separated from his ancestor and entered his body. After nurturing it for over 20 years, he has already refined it. Even though he's only at the peak void inquiry stage, He has the strength of an early venerable realm expert. I brought him here because I feel that the South Parting sect isn't safe either. Thus, I plan to send him to the god-slaying squad. Nan Xianxing said. Nangan Sheng, I can't make the decision on this matter. Besides, the god-slaying team is a team from the eastern Shen region. How can we let the future ruler of the southernly region in? Wu Lingfei asked. Vz Yongdi Long exempt N Phi square root CB small O say, our two regions are considered to be in an alliance. I will be at ease if we throw him into the god-slaying team, Nangan Sheng said. Senior Long Xianxing, what do you think? Wu Lingfei looked at Long Xianxing and asked. I don't have any opinion on this matter. However, it still depends on Night Sorrow's opinion. Long Xianxing said. Wu Lingfei nodded. She knew that the main problem was still Night Sorrow. If Night Sorrow was unwilling, no one could do anything about it. Then let's go to Night Sorrow's place and have a look. It's not easy to talk to Night Sorrow when it comes to principles. Xialanjun said. Xialanjun, Nangan Sheng, and Wu Lingfei brought Liangyu to Night Sorrow's tent. When they arrived, Night Sorrow also came out of his tent. After greeting them, he took out a tea table and began to make tea. Night Sorrow, let me introduce you. This is Liangyu from the South Parting sect. In the future you two will be brothers who will fight side by side. Xialanjun said. I am Liangyu. Liangyu extended his fist towards Night Sorrow. I am Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow also extended his fist and bumped it with Liangyu's. Alright, Night Sorrow, the South Parting sect and our Eastern Shen sect are allies. Therefore Liangyu wants to join your god-slaying sect. Wu Lingfei directly pointed out the root of the problem. I can't answer this question directly. First of all, we have 30 to 40 brothers. I have to be responsible for them. Therefore I'm sorry. Night Sorrow looked at Liangyu. Liangyu had a strong body and a gentle face. At this moment he was also looking at Night Sorrow with dissatisfaction. He was a proud person. Now that Night Sorrow didn't accept him, he was a little angry. Night Sorrow, there is no problem with Liangyu's character. He is also strong enough to fight against venerables. Besides, now that we are working together, we have to be open to each other. Liangyu, Night Sorrow is responsible for the members of the god-slaying sect. You should know that the god-slaying sect has fought many times and killed many major forces without losing a single member. You know what this means? Xialanjun said. Night Sorrow, make the arrangements. Liangyu is very important to the South Parting sect. Wu Lingfei said. Then cultivate with me Xuanhuan and Ling Long. Night Sorrow nodded. Then Xialanjun and the others left. Sit. Have some tea. Night Sorrow nodded to Liangyu. I have heard about your god-slaying sect. I am very envious. Liangyu sat down and said. Don't take my rejection to heart. Those brothers have fought with their lives on the line. They are friends who can block knives for each other. If I agreed directly, it would be irresponsible to them. Night Sorrow explained. I understand. A leader like that can't lead a team like the god-slaying sect. Liangyu nodded. Leader, we are back. Xuanhuan shouted as he and Ling Long came to Night Sorrow's tent. Tianyu, go catch some prey. Night Sorrow shouted to Tianyu, who was lying on the side of the tent. Who is this? Xuanhuan looked at Liangyu and asked. He is Liangyu. He will be cultivating with us from today. Night Sorrow introduced him. Okay. When you become a venerable, let's spar. Xuanhuan poured himself a cup of water and said. We can spar even if we are not venerables. Night Sorrow can fight against venerables. Maybe I can too. Liangyu said. Sure. Let's give it a try then. Xuanhuan stood up and walked towards the outside of the tent. Liangyu also followed him. Then he drew out the fiery red sword on his back. It was a long sword that was as wide as a palm and 6 chi asterisk, 33 m per chi, long. Then let me test your strength. Xuanhuan brandished his curved blade and slashed at Liangyu. Liangyu swung his sword and sent out a very thick sword light. The sword light and the blade light clashed and cancelled each other out. No. Even if you have the ultimate attribute of the fire attribute, you can't withstand my black baleful lightning. Even though Xuanhuan displayed his peak void inquiry stage cultivation base, his lightning attribute was the ultimate attribute of the lightning attribute, the black baleful lightning. His attack was ferocious and it was not something that the fire attribute could withstand. Everyone has some ultimate moves. Let's spar to our heart's content. Liangyu waved his heavy sword and said. Interesting. Then let's have a good spar. Xuanhuan became serious. A purple-black lightning chi barrier appeared around his body. Liangyu raised his right hand. As he raised his sword, a strong flame chi barrier appeared around his body. Chapter 7:18. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with interesting novels to read. His fire attribute is indeed strong. Ordinary fire attribute cultivators won't be able to reach this level. Night Sorrow nodded. He did have such a discerning eye. After that, Xianxia and Xuanhuan began to fight each other. Both of them were fiery types. It was a head-on battle. Xuanhuan was very straightforward. He had been fighting Xianxia with his peak void inquiry stage cultivation base. Because of Xiangxia's domineering attribute, Xuanhuan could not gain the upper hand at all. However, Xuanhuan's speed was fast. Even Xianxia, who had a wide range of attacks, could not gain the upper hand. After fighting for about 10 minutes, Night Sorrow called them to stop. Xuanhuan was unwilling to use his venerable realm cultivation base. The two of them were equally matched. Let me try. Linglong was also itching to fight. She walked towards Xianxia with her curved blade. With the support of the protective chi barrier, Linglong's expression changed because she felt that she was being suppressed. What's wrong with you? Cultivators of the fire attribute have no possibility of fighting me if their cultivation base is not higher than 3 levels above mine. Xianxia said. You possess the origin of fire attribute? Linglong's expression changed. Xianxia nodded. If I use my venerable realm cultivation base, even if I win the battle, it will be an unfair victory. If I don't use my venerable realm cultivation base, I won't be able to defeat you. What's the point of the battle then? Linglong said with slight annoyance. Are you from the Southly region? Xianxia looked at Linglong and asked. Yes. So what? Linglong was very unhappy because her attribute was being suppressed. Moreover, it was being suppressed by an attribute of the same origin. Nothing. Just pretend that I didn't ask. Seeing Linglong getting angry, Xianxia smiled and did not say anything else. Alright, let's roast some meat and drink some wine. Night Sorrow looked at the golden bull that Tianyu had caught and said. After drinking, Night Sorrow asked Xianxia to set up a tent. At the same time, he told him about their current cultivation method. I haven't tried it before. I'll try it with you guys later. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Xiangxia's interest was piqued. Then you'll follow the two of them. Xuanhuan Linglong, regardless of whether Xianxia joins our god-slaying squad or not, he's now our comrade. Take good care of him, Yishan said to Xuanhuan and Linglong. After giving his instructions, Night Sorrow entered the tent and began to cultivate. While cultivating, Night Sorrow's mind was full of questions. He did not understand why he came across the golden growler's body, but his harvest was huge. 1 holy spirit stone was equivalent to 100 supreme grade spirit stones. What he got was a huge fortune. There were also many other materials. After daybreak, Night Sorrow began to cultivate his spear art. Now he didn't need to enter the domain C to cultivate. His true chi was condensed enough, and the myriad Dao Tome's energy was also incomparably solid. He wanted to cultivate his true chi's control. Once he could control his true chi, he would be able to study the problem of advancement. It was only necessary to cultivate in the realm C after breaking through. In the following days, Night Sorrow cultivated his spear art and his true chi's control. Wu Lingfei came by a few times and was very satisfied with Night Sorrow's progress. Xialanjun and Nan Ganxing also came over, mainly because they were worried that Xuanhuan and Exquisite wouldn't get along with Xianxia. That said, they were very satisfied. As for Night Sorrow, they weren't worried. Xuanhuan and Exquisite were people who didn't care about trifles. Xianxia was also very generous. Night Sorrow had long since noticed this, and it could be seen from Xianxia's fighting style. Xianxia's fighting style was to press forward courageously, and his personality determined his fighting style. Because of their congenial personalities, they got along quite well. What's up with Night Sorrow? He's been practicing his spear arts for an entire day? Xianxia, who was chatting with Xuanhuan and Exquisite, asked Night Sorrow, who was practicing his spear arts in front of the tent. It's normal. He's been cultivating in seclusion for an entire month. Before you came, he was also cultivating in the realm C for an entire month, Xuanhuan said with a smile. That's crazy. I'll spar with him when I have time, Xianxia said. Then you should just forget about it. During that time, the 4 of us fought him alone. He used a rattan to whip us until we were covered in bloody scars, Exquisite said. As for Night Sorrow, he cultivated his spear arts during the day and cultivated his soul power and bloodline talent at night. Half a month later, Night Sorrow felt that his true chi's control had reached saturation. He was ready to break through to 2nd level venerable. Letting Tianyu guard him, Night Sorrow went to break through his true chi's control. With his cultivation base enough, his advancement naturally went smoothly. After one night, Night Sorrow's cultivation base reached 2nd level venerable. After that, Night Sorrow continued cultivating his spear art during the day and stabilizing his true chi at night. At the same time he cultivated his soul power and bloodline talent. 3 days later, Night Sorrow felt that his cultivation base had stabilized. With 2 spears on his back he walked towards the Realm Sea. He planned to enter the Realm Sea to stabilize his newly advanced cultivation base. After that, he could continue eating dragon spirit pills to increase his cultivation base. Let's go. This time you'll be able to witness our captain's strength. Seeing Night Sorrow walk towards the Realm Sea, Xuanhuan waved to Exquisite and called out to Jianghu. Ignoring the 3, Night Sorrow reached the edge of the Realm Sea. Raising a protective barrier, he cut straight into the Realm Sea. What kind of speed is this? Jianghu was shocked to see Night Sorrow leaving a trail of afterimages behind him. That's our captain. At the 5th level he can easily kill a beginner venerable. He can even injure a mid-level venerable, Xuanhuan said proudly. He really is powerful. That speed is too frightening. Jianghu nodded. Night Sorrow's speed had already reached an extreme. Night Sorrow continued to charge into the Realm Sea. He only started cultivating after crossing 100 li of the area where Wu Lingfei had taken him to watch. By this time Xuanhuan and the others could no longer see Night Sorrow's figure. He's cultivating in the center of the spatial storm. Can he endure it? Jianghu was shocked. He was very confident in himself, but Night Sorrow's display of strength made him feel both shocked and pressured. Of course he can. Don't be surprised. Just get used to it. Let's cultivate too. Exquisite shook her head. She was already used to Night Sorrow's freakish strength. Night Sorrow was currently in an area he was used to in the past, and the spacetime pagoda didn't consume too much energy. Night Sorrow shuttled through the turbulent flow of space, cultivating his movement technique and spear technique. Whenever he consumed too much energy he would return to the spacetime pagoda to recover. Night Sorrow could sense the improvement of his innate bloodline power and soul power every day. In addition to the fact that his true chi was becoming more and more stable after being tempered, he was very excited to cultivate. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, it's been half a month and this guy still hasn't come out. Impressive. After cultivating for half a month, Jianghu was completely convinced of Night Sorrow's strength. You're quite strong as well. You're at the 9th level of the Void Inquiry stage. You're in the same area as the 2 of us. That's very good. Exquisite said. It's still not enough. In the past I thought I was very capable. But now I feel that I'm much weaker. I still need to work harder. Jianghu said. Chapter 719. Genius 1 second remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Captain, you're not going to raise your cultivation again, are you? Xuanhuan asked Yishan. Of course. My foundation is solid and my true chi is condensed. I can control it well, Night Sorrow said. Xuanhuan shook his head. Exquisite felt helpless as well. They had worked very hard, but Night Sorrow had been too fast. There was nothing they could do about it. First of all, the depth of the Realm Sea was different, so there was a difference in tempering. They caught a demon beast and roasted it. The 4 of them drank some wine together. Then, Night Sorrow went to visit Long Xianxia and Wu Lingfei. It would take a long time for him to eat the dragon spirit pill, so he needed to know what was going on outside. Night Sorrow didn't see Long Xianxia. Instead he saw Wu Lingfei and Xialanjun. The 2 told Night Sorrow that everything was normal outside, but the people of Medicine Valley had gone to Sky City. The Empyrean Terminus Tower was the most well-informed. Naturally, the Empyrean Terminus Tower knew that Lu Yangyu and Guanyi had gone to the city in the sky. Hearing this, Night Sorrow decided to go back. Wu Lingfei wanted to accompany Night Sorrow, but Night Sorrow refused. He just wanted to go back and take a look, not to fight. That's fine. If there's anything, go to Tianji Tower's headquarters. The Chief Tower Master and the Chief Supervisor are there, Wu Lingfei said. After that, Yishan went to the valley where Night Moon Dynasty's troops were resting and chatted with Xianxia. When there was nothing else, Night Sorrow went back to the camp. He told Xuanhuan and the others that he was going to leave. Let's go back together. We also need to rest. Anyway, you have a flying ship. It won't be troublesome to use the teleportation array. Also, let's bring this guy back and introduce him to everyone. Ling Long pointed at Liangyu. That works too. Let's go back together and rest for a few days. After thinking about Night Sorrow, he agreed. After putting away Tianyu, Night Sorrow released the airship. After letting the 3 enter the airship, Night Sorrow controlled the airship and rushed towards Haohai City. At the same time, Night Sorrow explained the rules of the god-slaying squad to Liangyu. Liangyu pondered for a moment before saying, "If they are good people, then I won't betray my brother. I can take a blow for my brother." Night Sorrow nodded. That was not a problem. As long as they followed the rules of the god-slaying team, everything would be fine. When they arrived at the border of vast Ocean City's realm sea, Night Sorrow put away the airship, and the group rode their mounts towards vast Ocean City's teleportation array. Liang Yu's mount was the Flame Feather Eagle, which was also at the peak of Tier 4. The speed was also extremely fast. When they arrived at the Haohai City's teleportation array, they teleported to the Taiching domain. As soon as they stepped out of the Taiching domain's teleportation array, Night Sorrow felt a killing intent lock onto him. "Hurry up and leave," Night Sorrow shouted. He activated his protective barrier and blasted his strongest spear forward. $look at the S version T chapter S section N above OT bang. After a muffled sound, Night Sorrow's body was sent flying. Only then did Xuanhuan and the other two leave their original spot. This was also the reason why Night Sorrow did not dodge. If he did, that terrifying sword chi would have struck them. "Hurry up and leave," Night Sorrow roared again. He activated his protective barrier and cut to the side to avoid the opponent's attack. Assassination. This guy's cultivation base is at the high-level venerable realm. We are no match for him. Don't distract the captain. Hurry up and leave. Xuanhuang's body drew an arc as he rushed towards the Tianji Tower. He knew that it was useless for him to stay. The best way was to call for reinforcements. Ling Long also followed Xuanhuang and rushed towards the Tianji Tower. She could not help Night Sorrow if she stayed. Besides, she was worried that Xuanhuang would be intercepted. If that happened, there would be no one to report to. "You bastard. You're too despicable. Night Sorrow, run around the Sea of Fire." After Liang Yu shouted, he stood at the edge of the teleportation array. Then he waved his arm and a sea of fire appeared in the open space in front of the teleportation array. At this moment, Night Sorrow also saw the attacker clearly. It was an inconspicuous old man in a gray robe. However, the long sword in his hand was very sharp. Sword chi slashed towards Night Sorrow. At the same time, he crossed the Sea of Fire and chased after Night Sorrow. "How dare you jump into the Sea of Fire? Watch me burn your balls," Liang Yu roared. His arm shook, and the flames in the Sea of Fire soared into the sky. Not only did they block the old man, but the flames also attacked the old man's body. Night Sorrow activated his protective barrier and cut back, avoiding the old man's sword chi attack. He knew that there was no chance of winning. The strength of a high-level venerable was completely different from that of a mid-level venerable. "Liang Yu, go!" Night Sorrow shouted. He was worried that the old man would attack Liang Yu. "Ah! I'm on the teleportation array. How dare he attack it? I don't think he has the courage." Liang Yu laughed and shouted. At the same time, he controlled the flames to burn the old man's body. Regardless of how the flames attacked, he wanted to interrupt the old man's attack rhythm and affect his vision. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and began to run around the teleportation array's hall. Attacking the teleportation array was an act of war. If the old man attacked the teleportation array, the guards of the Taiching domain would attack. There were venerable realm guards here. The gray-robed old man did not attack the teleportation array because he would be attacked by a group of people. Night Sorrow was fast and agile. The gray-robed old man could not catch up to him. However, Night Sorrow knew that this was a crisis. Once he was caught, it would be a big problem. Night Sorrow was seriously injured after taking the old man's attack head-on. His Zhen Qi was shaken, the tendons and veins in his arms were damaged, and his internal organs were displaced. Fortunately, his body was strong. Otherwise, he would have been killed in one move. While Night Sorrow was fighting, Xuanhuang rushed toward the Tianji Tower. The teleportation array was not too far away from the Tianji Tower branch. Xuanhuang shouted for help when he was not far away. When Xuanhuang shouted for help, a sword chi flew toward Xuanhuang. Xuanhuang hurriedly waved his scimitar and slashed at the sword chi. Bang! After a muffled sound, Xuanhuang vomited blood and was sent flying. At this time, Ling Long rushed over and pulled Xuanhuang's body into the Tianji Tower's gate. "We are the Tianji emissaries. We are being surrounded. Help! What's going on?" At this time, two figures arrived in the Tianji Tower's lobby. There is a high-level venerable at the gate. He is asking for help. There is also a high-level venerable at the teleportation array trying to kill Night Sorrow. "Help Night Sorrow quickly." Ling Long's face was full of anxiety. She knew what a high-level venerable was. They could easily kill a low-level venerable. Supervisor Lan, deal with the one at the gate. I will go to the teleportation array. A golden figure rushed out. He was the Qinji Tower's Gold Palace attendant, Yao Yang. He was currently guarding the Qinji Tower branch in the Taiqing domain. Lan Yuxuan, who had dared to do something, rushed out of the Qinji Tower's gate and caught up with a thin old man. He was the venerable who had attacked Xuanhuan. 7th level venerable, you came to assassinate our Qinji Tower's Qinji emissaries. Today I want you dead and the people behind you dead. Lan Yuxuan waved her long sword and fought with the venerable. Night Sorrow's crisis was getting more and more intense. The gray-robed old man was too strong. He had no chance to rest and his injuries were getting worse. Chapter 720. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Because the gray-robed old man's attack frequency was fast and fierce, Night Sorrow didn't have any time to rest. Therefore his internal organs were impacted and he didn't have time to recover. His meridians were also on the verge of cracking due to the violent circulation of his true qi. Love, go little, say, Chu. Although Night Sorrow knew that this couldn't go on, he had no other choice unless he entered the space-time treasure pagoda. However, he had been sealed all this time. Entering the space-time treasure pagoda was asking for trouble. If he used Space Rend, the opponent's speed would be very fast. The possibility of the attack hitting was very small. Just as Night Sorrow was about to use Soul Destruction Slash to alleviate the crisis, an opportunity appeared. Yao Yang appeared behind Night Sorrow and slashed out a few times, blocking the gray-robed old man's sword chi. A high-level venerable wants to kill my Qinji Tower's young master. You're tired of living. Yao Yang growled and attacked the gray-robed old man, resolving Night Sorrow's crisis. Liang Yu ran over and pulled Night Sorrow to the safety of the teleportation array. At this time, the Taiqing domain's guards were guarding the teleportation array with swords in hand. Love, go little, say, Chu, are you okay? Liang Yu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm okay? You were attacked by a high-level venerable and you didn't even give me a chance to breathe? Night Sorrow glanced at Liang Yu and took out a drop of life spirit liquid to heal the injuries in his body. At the same time, the myriad Tao Tome and the medicine spirit's power circulated at the same time to recuperate his body. If it was me, I would have collapsed. This guy is too despicable. A high-level venerable attacked and he even assassinated him. He has no limits. Liang Yu curled his lips and said. At this time, the battle between Yao Yang and the gray-robed old man was very intense. However, Yao Yang was suppressing the other party's attacks. The long sword in Yao Yang's hand was constantly vibrating, and the sword chi he emitted carried ripples. If he really wanted to kill me, he wouldn't have given me a chance to catch my breath. If he hadn't taken the opportunity to attack me near the teleportation hall, I would have died right now, Night Sorrow said as he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Venerable to assassinate you. Liang Yu nodded. At this time, Yishan was no longer in danger because the experts of the Celestial Extreme Tower had arrived. Lin's heart's heart. Lin Yuandao attacked right away. Lin Yuandao swung his arms twice and 2 ripples cut off the gray-robed elder's arms. Yao Yang rushed up and punched again, shattering the gray-robed old man's dantian. Then he grabbed the gray-robed old man's neck and pulled him in front of Night Sorrow and Lin Yuandao. As a high-level venerable, can you be more shameless? Liang Yu took 2 steps forward and stabbed his broadsword between the gray-robed old man's legs. The broadsword that was infused with fire energy was no different from a soldering iron. Love, gone little, say, W. Chu. Following the old man's scream, the old man's crotch emitted a squeaking sound and green smoke. It's not a man's thing. You can't use a man's thing. Liang Yu's words made everyone speechless. Don't kill him. We still have to interrogate him. See which force sent him. This must be investigated. Lin Yuandao could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. Just as Lin Yuandao was speaking, the old man struggled violently and tore his robe, breaking free from Yao Yang's control. Then he slammed his head against Liang Yu's broadsword and died. Why are you so manly at a time like this? Liang Yu was stunned. He had not expected the gray-robed old man to commit suicide like this. He can't die. Yao Yang, take his corpse and see if there are any clues. Night Sorrow, let's go. After Lin Yuandao finished speaking, he wrapped Night Sorrow in energy and rushed toward the Qinji Tower's division. There was still an assassin there, so he was anxious to leave him alive. However, what everyone expected happened. The high-level venerable who had been crippled by Guoxiao also committed suicide. These are all death warriors. Elder Hua, Supervisor Gua, Quickly go to the Qingtian region's teleportation array and the Celestial Peak Pavilion to take a look. The news hasn't spread, so if there are venerables lying in ambush, we can still catch them. Even if there are no survivors, there will still be clues. Yao Yang, go to the teleportation array in Dongshin City with Supervisor Lan and catch them. Night Sorrow and I will stay here for now. Lin Yuandao made a series of arrangements. He did not dare to act rashly as he was worried that someone would come to kill Night Sorrow. Then the people of Tianji Tower began to move. Night Sorrow fed Xuanhuan the life spirit fluid and gave him healing medicine at the same time. Chief Tower Master, his injuries are very serious. His internal organs are ruptured, and the bones in his right hand are broken. Night Sorrow looked at Xuanhuan and said, Captain, I won't die yet. It's just that I can't fight with you for a while. Xuanhuan, who was in a somewhat dispirited state, said, As long as you don't die, our Tianji Tower has the ability to recover. Lin Yuandao went to Xuanhuan and pressed one hand on his shoulder to help him heal. New chapter T9 plus previous chapter #ran hour later, Xuanhuan had recovered a lot. Lin Yuandao was of the water attribute, so his healing effect was very strong. Lin Yuandao stood up. Wahaining, Guoxiao, Yao Yang and Lan Yuxuan had all returned. Guoxiao was carrying an old man. The old man's limbs were broken, his dantian was shattered, and his head was fixed in place. There was also a piece of cloth stuffed in his mouth, so there was no possibility of him committing suicide. Because we were afraid that he would commit suicide, we were prepared. That's why we caught him alive. Guoxiao threw the old man's body to the ground. Yao Yang, go interrogate him. No matter what method you use, you have to get the answer. Be careful not to let him bite his tongue and commit suicide, Lin Yuandao said to Yao Yang. Yao Yang nodded and directly opened his mouth twice, knocking out the old man's teeth. Then he carried the old man and walked to the back of the Tianji Tower branch. Supervisor Lan, follow and watch over the treatment. If you don't say anything, you can't die even if you want to. Lin Yuandao then arranged for Lan Yuxuan. Guoxiao and Hua Haining began to look at the bodies of the other two people. Sometimes not only the living could speak but the dead could also speak. This is someone from the Western Nether region. The skull tattoo on his back is a custom of the Western Nether region. After this person became a death warrior, although the tattoo was destroyed, there are still traces of it, Hua Haining said after examining the body. Someone from the Western Nether region. Our Tianji Tower doesn't have much of a dispute with the Western Nether region. To be able to send such a venerable, it can only be the arrangement of a saint. Let's see which one is more specific. Lin Yuandao had a rough idea in his heart. However, he didn't find anything on the second person. There were no marks on his body except for scars. He didn't even have a storage ring. Lin Yuandao looked carefully, looking for flaws. After a while, Lin Yuandao looked at the guy's hair. Chapter 721. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. He thinks he's flawless, but his hair isn't white. It's pure silver. That's the symbol of the Qingtian region's Silver Devil clan. He should be a descendant of the Silver Dusk Saint. Lin Yuandao's eyes were filled with coldness. The one who was captured alive should be someone sent by Qin Yuan, Guoxiao said. When Guoxiao spoke, Yao Yang and Lan Yuxuan came out. Chief Supervisor is right. He's from the Tianfeng dynasty, Yao Yang said. Chief Supervisor Gua, take Yao Yang and accompany Night Sorrow and the others to the city in the sky. I'll take these people to see the Supreme. This matter isn't over yet, Lin Yuandao said. Then Guoxiao took Night Sorrow and the others back to the city in the sky. Xikong Chuyu, Yang Lei and Aoi were shocked to see Night Sorrow's pale face. Night Sorrow, are you injured? Xikong Chuyu helped Night Sorrow to sit down and said, Yes, I was ambushed. It's nothing, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Who's so shameless? Yang Lei was very angry. At the same time, she grabbed Night Sorrow and checked his injuries. Love go little say Wang, Chu's sixth senior sister. Yunwang's injuries are more serious than mine. Get him some healing medicine in the next few days, Night Sorrow said to Aoi. Sixth senior sister, you don't know. Captain was ambushed by a high-level venerable. If we were the main target, we would be dead by now, Ling Long said. You don't have to worry. This time, Tianji Tower will make a big move. If the young master is being assassinated by a high-level venerable, it won't be Tianji Tower. Guoxiao's face was full of murderous intent. This time, the other party's actions had crossed the bottom line of Tianji Tower. Night Sorrow then introduced Liang Yu to the others. Liang Yu was very polite at this time, cupping his hands in greeting. He was completely different from when he cut off the gray-robed elder's crotch. Liang Yu, you didn't run away at the crucial moment. You stayed behind to help our captain. I, Xuanhuan, recognize you as my brother, Xuanhuan said after his injuries were checked by the Aoi. Yes. I've passed this test as well. Later on I'll recommend him to our brothers in the team. Exquisite also expressed her attitude. Then Yang Lei talked about Guan Yi and Yu Yangyu's intention. Master wants you to make the decision. Aoi looked at Night Sorrow and said, we'll let Hou Jian and Xueling deal with this later. If they think it's appropriate, then it's appropriate. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said. Then Night Sorrow asked Guoxiao and Yao Yang to prepare a feast. He went into seclusion to heal his injuries. Xuanhuan did the same. Healing pills were only supplementary effects. The main thing was to heal his body. His broken arm greatly affected his combat ability. At this time, on the island in the Realm Sea, 2 corpses were placed in front of Xialanjun and the others. There was also the inhuman captive. How dare they challenge our bottom line? Then there's no need to be polite. Let's fight. They used a high-level venerable to kill our young master, so we don't have to follow the rules, Xialanjun said. They're crazy. Jin Haixing's face was full of anger. Master K, what do you mean? Xialanjun looked at Lin Yuandao. Let's start an all-out war. The Supreme Elder and a few saints will keep an eye on their saints here. We'll destroy the Tianfeng dynasty first, then attack the Silver Devil clan. Finally, we'll go to the Western Nether region to eradicate the forces behind the saints of the Western Nether region. Okay, then let's do it. We'll block their saints outside Haohai City. Master K, you can lead your men to kill them. Xialanjun said. Master Lin Yuandao, if you need help, just call for Lord Taishu. Our men from the North Sea domain are at your disposal, Jin Haixing said. He was expressing his stance. The Eastern Shen region and the Northern Sea region were in a complete alliance. Furthermore, Tai Shuyan was the Vice-Chief Tower Lord of the Celestial Terminus Tower. His intention was not to interfere with Tai Shuyan's decisions. Thank you, Senior Jin Haixing. Our Tianji Tower's men will have no problem wiping them out. The pressure will be on the seniors, Lin Yuandao said. That's not a problem. We'll block them at the border of Haohai City's Realm Sea. If they come to ask for help, we'll kill them. If they want to fight, then let's play big, Xialanjun said. Then I'll go to the Eastern Shen region to mobilize some men. Wu Lingfei's face was full of frost. If you asked who was the angriest, it would be her. She had been silent all this time because she was ready to attack. Master Wu Kei, follow us and kill them. We'll crush them like dry weeds and not give them a chance, Xialanjun said. Then the group moved. Xialanjun and the others also moved their garrison to the border of Haohai City's Realm Sea. Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei left and began to mobilize their men. Night Sorrow went into seclusion for 4 consecutive days to recover from his internal injuries. The high-level Venerable's attacks were too violent and caused him great damage. Night Sorrow only came out of seclusion after he fully recovered. After coming out of seclusion, Night Sorrow went to see Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan had almost recovered. When he was attacked, unlike Night Sorrow who was worried about the safety of the people behind him, he dodged to the side and didn't take the full brunt of the attack. Lin Yuandao also helped him recuperate. Now, only the broken bones in his right hand needed time to heal. Xuanhuan also came out of seclusion today. Soon after, the 2 of them went to the training field. When they saw Night Sorrow, they all greeted him. Guan Yi also cupped his hands in greeting to Night Sorrow. First is my senior brother Guan Yi. Whether you agree or not is up to you. However, I want to make one thing clear. Even if my 12th senior brother joins the team, he is only a member of the God-slaying team. He is my senior brother outside of the team. Now Xueling, Hou Jian, you ask for everyone's opinion, Night Sorrow said. Then Xueling and Hou Jian asked for everyone's opinion. No one objected because Guan Yi had gotten along well with everyone recently. If no one objects, he will temporarily join the God-slaying team. After a few battles, he will be an official member. Night Sorrow announced the final decision. Then Ling Long pushed Liang Yu to Night Sorrow's side. Next up is Liang Yu. He has interacted with Xuanhuan and Ling Long for some time. Now he also wants to join our group. First of all, Xuanhuan and Ling Long, what do you 2 think? Yishan looked towards Xuanhuan and Ling Long. Both of us support this and officially recommend him to the team. However, this also requires everyone's acceptance, Xuanhuan said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation Xueling, Hou Jian, how about this? Liang Yu will temporarily join the team. After a few battles, we will make a decision based on the situation. As I said before, brotherhood is the most important thing in the God-slaying team. We will not abandon any of our brothers. We can be their backs, Night Sorrow said. Brother, don't worry. Once you understand the god-slaying team, you will definitely not feel wrong today, Xuanhuan said as he patted Liang Yu's shoulder. Chapter 722. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. While Knight Sorrow was making arrangements for the god-slaying team, Tianji Tower, Eastern Shen region, and North Sea region gathered their forces and began to attack the Tianfeng dynasty. This time it was not a battle for territory but a battle of extermination. While Tianji Tower, Eastern Shen region, and Northern Sea domain were charging towards the Tianfeng dynasty, Lin Yuandao, Wu Lingfei, Li Jingxian, Bei Tiangu, and Tai Shu Yan led the high-level venerables to kill their way to the capital of the Tianfeng dynasty. They didn't plan to give the Tianfeng dynasty a chance. The Tianfeng dynasty was very powerful. They had many high-level honorables and even 3 peak-level honorables. However, how could they stand against 2 saints and a team led by an invincible honorable? All the higher-ups of the Tianfeng dynasty were killed in an instant. They didn't even have the qualifications to fight back. There had never been such a battle in the past. In the past, it wasn't as if there hadn't been any fights between the major forces, but there had been no saints involved. Chen Yuan's sneak attack on the Night Moon dynasty was an exception, and it hadn't been publicized to the outside world. However, it wasn't the case this time. This time, Tianji Tower was an open assassination. After the capital of the Tianfeng dynasty fell, Wu Lingfei, Lin Yuandao, and the others started killing from the central area to the periphery. In other words, none of the higher-ups and managers of the Tianfeng dynasty were left alive. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.ichuxs.com. Without destroying the teleportation array, the killing speed was incomparably fast. At this time, Qin Yuan, who was meditating on an island in the realm sea, stood up, called out to West Tai Tsang, and then went to Silver Dusk Saint's tent. What's the matter? Why are you so flustered? Silver Sunset Saint opened his eyes and stood up. My descendant, the Tianfeng dynasty's monarch's life medallion has shattered, and the other 2 peak venerables' life medallions have also shattered. This is a big deal, let's hurry over and take a look. Chen Yuan's face took on a ghastly expression because the 3 broken life badges belonged to 3 top-grade venerable ones from the Tianfeng dynasty. They're making their move now? This shouldn't be the case. Let's go and take a look. Yinshi's face also turned cold. She knew that if the Tianfeng dynasty was destroyed, it would be a big event, and it might just be the beginning. They had just crossed the realm sea and were about to head to the teleportation portal in Vast Sea City when they were intercepted. Everlasting Saint, what is the meaning of this? Silver Sunset Saint looked at Xialanjun coldly and asked, Now you're asking me what I mean? Then let me ask you what you mean. Xialanjun waved her hand and threw the 2 corpses and the captives who were still alive but were barely humanoid in front of her. Seeing Silver Dusk Saint's corpse, Shi Taitsong and Qin Yuan's expressions changed. You don't want to say anything? True Ocean Saint asked. I don't know what you're talking about. Yinshi replied directly. Since we've already shed all pretense of cordiality, there's no point in pretending to keep up appearances. Yinshi, let me see how much you've improved over the years. As for daring to challenge me directly. Xialanjun waved her arm and a long sword appeared in her hand. Xialanjun, are you really going to fight? Silver Sunset Saint narrowed his eyes and looked at Xialanjun. I didn't want to fight either, but you forced us to. In fact, I really don't understand how this will benefit you. The Tianfeng dynasty will be destroyed. The Silver Devil clan will be destroyed. The West Green sect will be destroyed soon. Is this the result you want? Xialanjun waved her long sword and said. Xialanjun, how dare you? Silver Dusk Saint roared. His silver hair shook violently and fell back to his shoulders. You dared to touch the young master of our extreme celestial palace and even sent a high-level venerable to assassinate him. What else do I not dare to do? You brought about your own destruction. Since that's the case, I can't maintain peace even if I want to. Only then can we fight. Xialanjun exhaled and said. Now that she had shed all pretense of cordiality, she had also let go of the burden. You brought this upon yourself. Long Xuanxing's figure appeared, but he appeared behind Xialanjun and the others. Senior Long Xianxing, aren't you going to stop this? This will damage the strength of the 9 regions. Silver Dusk Saint looked at Long Xianxing and asked. Yinshi, your words are unreasonable. It's fine if you attack the younger generation, but if they attack you, it will damage the strength of the 9 regions? I just found out that you crossed the line. Long Xianxing stood with his hands behind his back. At this moment, True Sea Saint moved and charged towards West Tai Tsang. South Heaven Saint was also facing Qin Yuan. Flying Tiger Saint and Black Dragon Saint were also fighting. Inshi, I'm very disappointed in you. Now we can only talk through battle. Xianxia also moved and slashed her sword towards Silver Dusk. What kind of situation was it when 8 saints were fighting? The sky was dark and the air was filled with sharp energy. It's better not to hurt the 9 regions world. Long Xianxing stomped his right foot, and a yellow energy spread out in all directions with him as the center. As the yellow energy spread out, the sword chi and blade light landed on the ground, not even a speck of dust flew up. Because it was a targeted battle, Xianxuan's side had the upper hand. Especially since Xuanhuan was being suppressed by South Heaven Saint. It was only a matter of time before he was defeated and killed. True Sea Saint was also completely suppressing West Tide Song. On the other hand, Flying Tiger Saint and Black Dragon Saint were evenly matched. The most intense battle was between Xianxia and Silver Dusk Saint. The area where the two of them were fighting had spatial cracks spreading out in all directions like a spider web. However, Silver Dusk Saint could only defend and did not have any ability to counterattack. She controlled the wind and water attribute, while Xianxia controlled the wind and lightning attribute. In terms of attributes, Xianxia was obviously stronger. Let's go. Seeing that the situation was bad, Silver Dusk Saint shouted and wanted to leave. If she wanted to leave, it would be difficult for Xianxia to kill her. However, Xianxia did not allow her to leave the battlefield and started to surround her. At this moment, True Sea Saint, who was fighting against West Tide Song, turned around and heavily injured Xuanhuan, who was using all his energy to defend against South Heaven Saint. True Sea Saint, you're despicable. Xuanhuan, who was stabbed in the back and had a hole in his chest, cursed. Who are you blaming if you're stupid? Didn't your master tell you that you have to be observant and alert during a battle? True Sea Saint, who was suppressing West Tide Song again and did not let him escape, said something that made Xuanhuan want to vomit blood. If you want to fight or run, I don't care. However, I have something to say first. If I hear that you're attacking cultivators below the Saint stage again, then wait for me to hunt you down. Of course, if you think you can withstand my anger, then do as you please. Long Xianxing looked at the situation in the sky and said. Silver Dusk Saint wanted to save Xuanhuan, but Xianxia did not give her the chance. Her long sword was covered with wind blades and lightning, constantly intercepting her movements. Following a scream, Xuanhuan's neck was cut off by South Heaven Saint's sword. Then he added another sword, shattering his spirit sea. Only 6y11 positive, square root version 5. His, all pirate KF version 1. At this moment, Silver Dusk Saint knew that the situation was set. She quickly drew her sword and continued to retreat. Then a white light appeared on her body and she left through the sky. Chapter 723. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Xianxia, you're despicable. I won't let you go. Silver Dusk Sage's voice came from the sky. The moment you used your despicable means, I've already made you my enemy. If you're not convinced, I'll be waiting for you at the Silver Devil Villa. Xianxia shouted. Then Xianxia charged towards West Tide Song. Since they had already shed all pretense of cordiality, she had to deal the greatest blow to her opponent. West Tide Song was already having a hard time dealing with True Ocean Sage. Now that Xianxia, who was much stronger than him, was attacking him as well, he couldn't hold on any longer. In just a few moments his left arm was chopped off. Just you wait. West Tide Song transformed into a ball of black energy and fled into the distance. There's no need to chase him. That's death disintegration. He's using his body's energy to execute his ultimate move. We can't chase after him. However, he won't be able to come out for the time being, Long Xianxing said. Then, Xianxia, Southern Ganxing, True Ocean Sage and Flying Tiger Sage began to besiege Black Dragon Sage. Well, I won't die unjustly under the encirclement of 4 sages. However, it's a pity that I met a few unscrupulous companions. Black Dragon Sage laughed and transformed into his true form to fight with the others. Black Dragon Sage, I don't want to see this happen either. Isn't the realm of unbounded desolation fine? Why do you have to get involved with them and send a high-level venerable to assassinate him? That's not right. Flying Tiger Sage sighed. Perhaps you're right. However, things have already come to this point. It has nothing to do with me. Don't think of me as such a despicable person, Black Dragon Sage said. If you want to turn back and make a promise, it's fine. Xianxia said. She didn't want to lose the strength of a 9 realms saint. Besides, the ambush had nothing to do with Black Dragon Sage. Alright, let's stop and talk. If we can't, we'll fight again. Long Xianxing said. Hearing Long Xuanxing's words, the group stopped fighting and looked at Long Xianxing at the same time. Hey Kuei, the realm of unbounded desolation is not doing well? Do the demonic beasts have nowhere to go? Silver Dusk Saint and the others are scheming against us. What are you doing here? Long Xianxing said. Black Dragon Saint's name was He Kuei. Senior Long Xianxing, it's not that He Kuei is unreasonable. It's just that there are some things that He Kuei doesn't understand. The Black Dragon Sage transformed into his human form and said, All right, if you make a promise, they will not make things difficult for you. Long Xianxing said. As long as you don't humiliate my race and my dignity, that's fine, the Black Dragon Saint said. Even in the face of danger, the Black Dragon Saint still maintained his bottom line. It's not as serious as you think. Just don't get involved with Silver Dusk Saint and the others. Also, when everyone is fighting for the 9 zones, I hope you can contribute to the 9 zones as well, Xialanjun said. I only just found out that they send high-level venerables to kill low-level venerables. I despise them for abandoning their companions and running away. They are not the same kind of people. If the 9 regions world needs help, I will help. Black Dragon Xinghe Kuei said. Then go back. Xialanjun nodded. The Black Dragon Saint's promise was enough for the current situation. Thank you, Senior Long Xianxing. Junior He Kuei will remember this. The Black Dragon Saint bowed. Well, you were just muddle-headed. Long Xianxing shook his head and said, Go back. If you have time, come and drink with me. The Flying Tiger Saint threw a jar of wine to the Black Dragon Saint. Flying Tiger, I can't do anything for the unbounded desolation. I'll leave some things to you. If you need anything, let me know. After receiving the jar of wine, the Black Dragon Saint left the battlefield. Let's go to the Silver Devil Villa now. Since we've already made our move, we won't give them a chance to rest, Xialanjun said. She couldn't give xianxia a chance to return to the Silver Devil Villa first. Xialanjun, let me ask for a favor. I have some friendship with the Moon Emperor. After taking down the Tianfeng dynasty, it's better for us to return the cities that originally belonged to the Night Moon dynasty to them. Seeing that Xialanjun and the others were about to leave, Long Xianxing said. Long Xianxing, you can rest assured. Even if you didn't ask, we would have done the same. Xialanjun nodded. Go. As for the Sky Underworld Saint, I'll deal with him. Long Xianxing said. Just as Night Sorrow was about to leave for the island, Latrin Swan arrived. Latrin Swan said, Young Master, His Lordship has asked me to pass on a message. He wants you to arrange for people to take over the cities that were previously occupied by the Tianfeng dynasty and the Night Moon dynasty. What's going on? Night Sorrow asked, somewhat surprised. Latrin Swan said, the Tianfeng dynasty has been wiped out. Now all the major cities are ownerless. Young Master, you can send people to take over the cities. As long as the flag of the Night Moon dynasty flies in the cities, the other dynasties won't dare to attack. Okay, I'll make the arrangements. Night Sorrow then called Yi Linglan over and asked him to bring people to take over the cities. Seeing Latrin Swan leave with the people of the Night Moon dynasty, Xuanhuan muttered, Looks like we've really gone overboard this time. The Tianfeng dynasty has been wiped out. How can we not go overboard? Captain is the young master of the Tianji Tower. They've crossed the line by using high-level venerables to assassinate us. We'll definitely fight them to the death. Yang Lei sighed and said, I didn't expect saints to be so stupid. If you don't want people to know, don't do it in the first place. If they know, there'll be a war. Why bother? They didn't succeed. Once they succeeded, they would have retreated. Without any clues, who can do anything to them? It's not right to make a move without evidence. The saints won't do that. Aoi thought for a moment and said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that this was the truth. If there was no evidence, Xialanjun and the others couldn't do anything. Then, everyone continued to cultivate. However, Xuanhuan could only watch. His arm was still recovering. On the third night after Yi Linglan went to take over the cities, Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao arrived at the city in the sky. Aunt Fei, what's the situation now? Night Sorrow asked. The Tianfeng dynasty has been completely wiped out. The Qingtian domain's Silver Devil clan has been wiped out. We'll go to the West Nether domain later to wipe out the West Green sect, Wu Lingfei said. Is there any trouble? Night Sorrow asked. He knew that the saints had completely fallen out with each other this time. Taiwan Saint Qinyuan has been killed. Shi Taizong gave up his body and used death disintegration to escape. He won't be able to come out for a while. After all, the destruction of one's body is very serious. The Black Dragon Saint has made a promise. The problem is almost solved. The only trouble is that xianxia has escaped, Wu Lingfei said. Seeing that Night Sorrow was fine, she felt a little more at ease. I6. Positive. Version 1. Why didn't you kill the Black Dragon Saint? Aren't you worried that he'll break the promise? Xianxia asked. The Black Dragon Saint didn't participate in the sneak attack on Night Sorrow. In addition, Long Xianxing was also present. If he wants to break the promise, he has to think twice, Wu Lingfei explained. Chapter 724. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Xuanhuan wasn't the only one worried about this. Everyone was worried about this. The revenge of an unscrupulous saint was too terrifying. Anyone below the saint realm would be killed instantly. You don't have to worry too much about this. Long Xianxing warned her that if she dares to attack anyone below the saint realm, Long Xianxing will deal with her. Love Go Little Say, Xuxialanjun and the others also appeared in the city in the sky. That's better. Otherwise it would really kill me, Night Sorrow said. However, she hates you to the bone. It's hard to say whether she will attack you or not. You must be careful. Zhen Haixing reminded Night Sorrow. How can I be careful? She is a saint. If she wants to kill me, I'm afraid I won't even have the ability to resist, Night Sorrow said with a bitter smile. Xialanjun and the others also shook their heads because this was almost unsolvable. Unless Night Sorrow was protected by someone at all times. During this period of time, follow Aunt Fei, Wu Lingfei said. Then the saints left the city in the sky. After the war there were many things to do. Aunt Fei, I brought trouble again this time, Night Sorrow said apologetically as he drank tea with Wu Lingfei under the lake. How is it you who brought trouble? It's us elders who didn't handle this matter well. You shouldn't be the one who should be apologetic, Wu Lingfei said. The destruction of the Tianfeng dynasty is good news for Night Moon. The other dynasties are not as happy as the Tianfeng dynasty, Night Sorrow said. Night Moon dynasty has fewer and fewer obstacles to rise. The biggest obstacle is probably the 7-star dynasty because it has a saint. However, the saint of the 7-star dynasty hasn't appeared for many years. He didn't even appear in the war between the dynasties 20 years ago, Wu Lingfei said. There are more things to do. Aunt Fei can't be quiet, Night Sorrow said with a smile. It's okay. No matter who it is now, no one dares to challenge the Eastern Profound region, Wu Lingfei said. Auntie Fei is not in the Eastern Shen region. You have to be careful outside. Night Sorrow was also worried about Wu Lingfei's safety. Between saints, unless the gap is too big, it is almost impossible to kill them. Furthermore, you know Auntie Fei's situation, speed is fast, not everyone can threaten Auntie Fei. Love Go Little Say Chu. Wu Lingfei smiled at Night Sorrow. Then Auntie Fei has to be careful. Silver Dusk Saint is a vile person. Don't use any tricks. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew what Wu Ling concubine's true body was. Speed was her forte. Auntie Fei has been in the 9-domain world for many years, so her experience is not fake. You, on the other hand, should focus more on spatial fissures. That way you'll have one more life-saving method, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. The two drank tea and chatted. Night Sorrow didn't feel much pressure. After all, Wu Lingfei was by his side. She wasn't someone who could be killed easily. While they were drinking tea and chatting, Yiling Lan came and told Night Sorrow that the takeover of the city had gone smoothly. Then I'll go connect to the teleportation array later, Night Sorrow said. No need. Those teleportation arrays weren't destroyed. We went to the main teleportation array of Tianfeng Royal City and took back the fragments of the teleportation crystals. They have already connected to Night Moon's teleportation array, Yiling Lan said. Then I'm relieved. Also, if someone attacks, don't resist. Just retreat. I'll take care of it, Night Sorrow said. He didn't want Night Moon to lose any members. At present, Night Moon's members were still lacking in combat strength. If the upper echelons couldn't fight, they would be at a disadvantage. Therefore he was worried. Young master, don't worry. I have a plan for this. Yiling Lan nodded. He could see Night Moon's situation clearly. Afterward, Yiling Lan went to make the necessary arrangements. Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei continued to chat. Night Sorrow was quite happy because things were developing in a good direction. After drinking tea for a while, Night Sorrow sent Wu Lingfei to rest and went to the training field to watch the others cultivate. Look, VS Forever Plus Free. Big. Liang Yu and Guan Yi were currently cultivating joint attacks. If they wanted to join the God-slaying squad, they needed to know joint attacks. Night Sorrow and Xuanhuan took out a jug of wine and chatted as they drank. It's uncomfortable to stay here. Once my arm recovers, we'll go to that island and continue cultivating in the chaotic streams of space in the realm C, Xuanhuan said. He couldn't move his arm easily and felt quite sullen. That's fine. Once your arm recovers, we'll take everyone to the Realm C to cultivate. Cultivating there will give us a solid foundation. But you and Linglong have to control it well. Nothing can happen. We can't lose any of our brothers, Night Sorrow said after a moment's thought. Xuanhuan nodded. He knew that Night Sorrow hoped that everyone's cultivation would improve quickly, but safety was the most important thing. Night Sorrow and the three women waited until evening before returning to the mansion. 13. I'm a bit scared. This world is too chaotic. I used to think that 5th stage experts were experts and sovereigns were amazing. But now, even saints view you as an enemy, Yang said, looking at Night Sorrow. It's decided by height. If I were a low-level cultivator, they wouldn't be interested in me. Don't worry, Ninth Senior Sister. With Auntie Faye here, no one can do anything to me, Night Sorrow said, hugging Yang. As we grow stronger, our opponents will also become stronger. If we want to stand firm, we have to improve our cultivation. Xianxia nodded. I haven't had time to check these days. How's my 12th senior brother in the team? Night Sorrow asked. Guanyi is very hard-working. Everyone recognizes him. There shouldn't be a problem, always said. That's good. This way, I won't make things difficult for him and I won't make things difficult for him. Night Sorrow breathed a sigh of relief. Whether or not Guanyi could join the god-slaying team was very important. If something went wrong, not only would it affect their relationship as brothers, it would also hurt Lu Yangyu's reputation. Besides, Lu Yangyu would also lose face. After drinking tea for a while, Xianxia and Yang went to rest. They wanted to give Night Sorrow and Aoi some space. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow sent Aoi back to rest. In front of Aoi's room, Night Sorrow opened his arms and hugged Aoi. Aoi also hugged Night Sorrow's waist. 13th junior brother's chest is very warm. It would be better if 6th senior sister could feel at ease, Night Sorrow said, looking at Aoi's blushing face. Chapter 725. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? I'll provide you with wonderful novels to read. Hugging Aoi's body, Night Sorrow instinctively reacted. Aoi, who was leaning on Night Sorrow, felt it. 13. 6th senior sister isn't free right now. Can we do it later? Aoi's voice was pitifully soft. Night Sorrow was a cultivator, so he couldn't hear her. Yes, 6th senior sister. I didn't think about that. Hugging 6th senior sister makes me feel warm and secure, Night Sorrow said. Aoi then kissed Night Sorrow and ran back to the pavilion. Night Sorrow smiled and returned to the main building. Then he sat down and cultivated. Now that the sense of danger was getting stronger, he had to hurry up and improve his cultivation. Night Sorrow communicated with the Spacetime Pagoda to help him. His main goal was to improve his bloodline power and soul power. Night Sorrow wanted to improve the power of spatial rend. He wanted to reach the realm where he could tear through space and enter spatial turbulence as soon as possible. That way he would have more ways to escape if he was chased. In the morning, while the girls were washing up, Night Sorrow was cultivating his spear arts. Aoi also brought him a basin of water. 13. Why did you come back to cultivate last night? Why didn't you accompany 6th senior sister? I'm completely convinced by you. Don't tell me you want 6th senior sister to wait for you in your room? Yang looked at Night Sorrow with disappointment. No, some things are better left to nature, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Some things couldn't be explained. 9th junior sister, why are you so rude now? You dare to say anything? Aoi glared at Yang 6th senior sister, I'm doing this for the sake of our family. Yang didn't care about Aoi's glare. 9th senior sister, Chiyu, the two of you have already advanced to the 7th level of the Void Inquiry stage. You can take the Extreme Void Pill. However, it's better for you to stabilize your cultivation base first before taking it. Don't leave behind any side effects that might cause you to have an unstable foundation. 6th senior sister, the same goes for you. Night Sorrow changed the topic while wiping his face. During the time that Night Sorrow was in the Realm C, the cultivation bases of the three women had improved tremendously. Xianxia and Yang had both advanced to the late Void Inquiry stage and reached the 7th level of the Void Inquiry stage. Aoi had also advanced to the 3rd level of the Void Inquiry stage. We're your senior sisters. We know what's going on. We won't make you worry, Aoi said with a smile. After that, Night Sorrow brought the women to the training ground. The women followed the others to cultivate while Night Sorrow used the void-splitting spear to practice his spear techniques and improve his cultivation base. Many people did not pay much attention to the cultivation of their cultivation base after entering the Venerable Realm. All of them focused on improving their cultivation base as quickly as possible. However, Night Sorrow felt that having a high cultivation base was also a foundation. There were many benefits to it. Thus he never gave up. Night Sorrow did not use his true chi. Just by waving the void-splitting spear casually, he could cause the energy of heaven and earth to surge. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Wu Lingfei came over and sat beside the tea table. She took out a tea set and began to make tea. After cultivating for a while, Night Sorrow came to Wu Lingfei's side and sat down to drink tea. After sizing up Night Sorrow, Wu Lingfei poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow. While your cultivation base is progressing steadily, don't give up on improving your cultivation base. This is the foundation. The higher your cultivation base is, the smoother your cultivation will be. Also, your body's cultivation base is progressing well. The essence chi smoke is close to 6 jianghu. You're not far from the realm where your essence chi smoke will soar into the sky. I won't hide it from you, Auntie Fei. My body's cultivation base has reached the final stage of the 5th stage. Once I break through this stage, my cultivation base will be on par with the venerable realm. At that time, my strength will increase even more, Night Sorrow said. That's good. A strong body is the foundation of a cultivator's great achievements. It's like a bottle. A big bottle, a strong bottle, can hold more energy. Also, you're cultivating the void-splitting spear. The strength of your body is an important factor in resisting the spatial turbulence, Wu Lingfei said. Entering the spatial turbulence? Isn't the strength of the protective barrier the most important factor in resisting the spatial turbulence? Night Sorrow asked. Normally that's the case. But have you ever thought about it? The body is the core of the protective barrier. If the core isn't strong, the protective barrier won't be stable. It's like a small tree branch. If you put a heavy armor on it, it won't be able to support it. Spatial turbulence and spatial strangulation will attack through the protective barrier. Therefore, a strong body is very important. Wu Lingfei explained the importance of a strong body to Night Sorrow. Yishang nodded, understanding the logic behind it. Many demon beasts and spirit beast cultivators, as well as some ancient families, have special offensive secret arts and innate divine abilities. The protective barrier can't completely block attacks. At that time, the strength of the body is the key to defense. Wu Lingfei explained to Night Sorrow again. I understand innate divine abilities. I also know a little about ancient families. But where did their secret arts come from? Were they created by their ancestors? Night Sorrow asked curiously. How do I put it? Demon beasts and spirit beasts can transform. After transforming, they are no different from humans. Some marry human women and some marry human men. Their descendants have a chance to inherit their parents' bloodline and inheritance. The more talented they are, the more likely they will inherit their parents' innate divine abilities. Wu Lingfei explained to Night Sorrow about the inheritance of ancient families. I see. Then our Night Moon dynasty is the same. Could it be that I also have the bloodline of demon beasts or spirit beast? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. What's so surprising about that? It depends on whether or not your family has records of it. Spatial rend isn't simple, but the situation isn't necessarily the same as what Auntie Fei said. There are also some ancient bloodlines. Their parents or ancestors have cultivated to a level recognized by the heavenly Tao. They can be passed down to their descendants. Do you really care about this? Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow. It's nothing. I'm just curious. I feel that races are very complicated. Night Sorrow rubbed his forehead and said. It's not complicated. Perhaps there is racial discrimination. Humans look down on demon beasts, and demon beasts with extraordinary talents look down on humans. For example, the Golden Dragon race will never marry with other races. Wu Lingfei said. Yong Chu Jiu Yi Fei read novels. Auntie Fei, you don't look down on humans, do you? Night Sorrow asked Wu Lingfei. How do I put it? It's not a matter of looking down on him or not. It's mainly a matter of getting along with him. He has nothing to do with Auntie Fei, so why would I look down on him or not? What about you? Wu Lingfei asked Yishang. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, in fact, I have some thoughts. I can't deny that some evil races are repelled. However, Auntie Fei is the one I respect the most in my heart. This will never change. Indeed, it is impossible to say that there is no rejection at all. Some races are born to fight while others are born to be evil. This is something that cannot be changed. However, many of the higher-ranked races are arrogant and disdain to do such despicable things. Wu Lingfei told Yishang some things that no one else knew. Chapter 726. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Wu Lingfei nodded. Her heart felt much better. In this world, Wu Lingfei didn't have any relatives. Night Sorrow was the only one. Also, it was a fact that they were of different races. She didn't want Night Sorrow to have a knot in his heart because of this problem. In fact, there were many things that Wu Lingfei didn't say. In the eyes of some talented races, humans were weak. They looked down on humans. After chatting with Wu Lingfei for a while, Night Sorrow continued to practice his spear arts. He used the Space Splitter Spear. The Reincarnation Spear was very compatible with him. Right now, he was building a foundation for the compatibility of his doppelganger weapon. Seeing Night Sorrow's focused expression, Wu Lingfei nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow's state of mind was very good. Ordinary things couldn't affect his mood. In addition, it also meant that Night Sorrow didn't care about these things. After cultivating until night time, Night Sorrow called Wu Lingfei, Guanyi, and Liangyu to his residence to eat. 13th Junior Brother, I'm here. You can just treat me as an ordinary member of the God-slaying squad, Guanyi said. You're a member of the God-slaying squad at other times. Privately, you're my 12th senior brother. Night Sorrow raised his wine cup to Guanyi. 13th Junior Brother, I was a bit selfish this time. I wanted to improve myself and live a more exciting life. I've caused you trouble, Guanyi said apologetically. Don't say that, 12th senior brother. It's nothing. Liangyu, you just came here and might not be familiar with it. You'll get used to it. The members of the God-slaying squad are a group of loyal people. Night Sorrow shook his head at Guanyi and then looked at Liangyu. While you were recovering, I interacted with them for a few days. I felt pretty good. You don't have to worry about me. I can do whatever the others can do, Liangyu said. Liangyu then drank some wine and left. He knew that this was Night Sorrow's family feast. He called him because he was afraid that he wouldn't be used to it. 12th senior brother, do you have enough death crystals now? Night Sorrow looked at Guanyi and asked. It's enough, there's still a lot. Right now, my xianxia attribute has already been strengthened to the extreme. Only by increasing my cultivation base can I strengthen my xianxia attribute. 13th Junior Brother, you don't need to worry about me, Guanyi said. He was very touched. He knew that Night Sorrow had not communicated much with him and even said that they did not have any feelings for each other. However, Night Sorrow was still willing to help him. After that, Guanyi left as well. Only he knew what he was thinking. Night Sorrow, Auntie Fei has also gone to her loft to rest. If there's anything, just go and call Auntie Fei. She stood up and shook her skirt before walking towards her loft. Night Sorrow, what do you plan to do next? Oi asked Night Sorrow. I'm going to eat the dragon spirit pill to increase my cultivation base. However, it will take a long time to refine, so I can't delay everyone. Later, I'll bring everyone to the island in the Realm Sea to cultivate. Everyone will see how strong they are in the outer region of the spatial turbulence. After that, I'll eat the dragon spirit pill, Night Sorrow said. That's good. The three of us are going to eat the void pill to increase our cultivation base. After that, we'll definitely need to stabilize our cultivation base, Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, let's wait for 2 more days. Let's see how big the war is this time. The war wasn't over yet. Tianji Tower, Eastern Xian region, and Northern Sea region were still attacking Western Nether region's Western Azure sect. That was Western Taitsong sect. At this time, a massacre was taking place at Western Azure sect's Mountain Gate. Xialanjun led a group of people to slaughter Western Azure sect. However, halfway through the massacre, a problem occurred. A white-haired, black-robed old man appeared. This old man directly injured Latrin Swan with a single move. At the same time, he also pushed Lin Yuandao far away. Xialanjuan's expression changed drastically. She hurriedly stopped this old man. However, in fact, Xialanjun couldn't resist at all. She was suppressed and forced to retreat. True Ocean Saint, Nangon Saint, and Flying Tiger Saint came to help, but they were also suppressed. They couldn't stop this white-haired, black-robed old man's attacks. At this time, Xialanjun crushed Long Xuanqing's messaging crystal. If she still didn't know what was going on, she would be a fool. She knew that this white-haired, black-robed old man with a gloomy aura was the heavenly underworld saint that Long Xianxing had mentioned. You dare to behave atrociously in my Western Nether region? Then all of you should die. The white-haired, black-robed old man snorted coldly. His attacks became more violent. Xialanjun and the rest found it difficult to resist because this old man was simply too strong. A bunch of reckless fools. The black-robed old man roared as he attacked. Xialanjun knew that this was a crisis for them. If they could hold on until Long Xianxing arrived, then they would be fine. If they couldn't, then someone would die. At this time, the importance of unity could be seen. No matter who Heavenly Underworld Saint attacked, the others would block with all their strength. The battle was in a stalemate. However, Lin Yuandao and the rest killed the upper echelons of the Western Green sect. After killing the upper echelons of the Western Green sect, Lin Yuandao and the rest didn't move. He and Guxiao were both new saints. After the time it took to brew a cup of tea, a figure appeared on the battlefield. Heavenly Underworld Saint, you don't care about the safety of the 9 regions now. Aren't you afraid that the 9 regions will lose their strength? Long Xianxing, they have attacked my Western Nether region. Are you going to interfere? Heavenly Underworld Saint retreated a distance and said coldly, why don't you ask why they are here? Long Xianxing said, Xialanjun, I know you. You better give me an explanation. Heavenly Underworld Saint waved his sleeve and said, it's Western Green Sect's Western Green Sect's Western Green Sect. He sent a high-level saint to assassinate the young master of my Tianji Tower. This is to destroy the foundation of my Tianji Tower. Xialanjun said. Heavenly Underworld Saint thought for a moment and said, Long Xianxing, are you guys on the same side? F3 equals first hair. The person who was assassinated is from my Eastern Xian region. To be able to become the young master of the Tianji Tower, you should know what it means to my Eastern Xian region. Long Xianxing said. You guys are in the right. Long Xianxing, since you are here, why don't we have a battle? Heavenly Underworld Saint said. Then let's try. But if you lose, don't get involved in this matter. Long Xianxing said. If I lose, you can take my life. Heavenly Underworld Saint snorted and put away the long sword in his hand. Another long sword that seemed to be absorbing the light rose from his back. All of you back off. Long Xianxing waved his sleeve and blocked Xialanjun and the others behind him. Then he waved his left hand. As Long Xianxing waved his arm, the heaven and earth around him shook. Then energy began to gather. At this time, Heavenly Underworld Saint slashed his long sword at Long Xianxing. With a slash of his sword, a crack appeared in the space. The sharp sword chi slashed towards Long Xianxing. Long Xianxing punched out with his right hand and continued to wave his left hand. With a loud explosion, Long Xianxing took 2 steps back and offset Heavenly Underworld Saint's sword chi. Chapter 727. Genius 1 second. Remember love go divided by Shao? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. As the energy gathered, a yellow spherical space appeared. Heavenly Underworld Saint was in the middle of the yellow spherical space. Baidu search AI go female sign Shao say www.aichuxs. Long Xianxing rubbed his hands, and the yellow spherical space began to spin. Green and silver energy appeared in the middle of the spherical space, and several types of energy began to attack Heavenly Underworld Saint. Is this your spatial attack? You still can't do anything to me. Heavenly Underworld Saint roared, and a grayish-black protective shield appeared. Then he waved his sword and attacked the spatial barrier of the yellow spherical space. If you can't do anything to me, then what? I hope you can withstand it. Chaotic space. Long Xianxing roared, and the energy in the yellow spherical space began to tremble violently. The energy trembled layer by layer, and Heavenly Underworld Saint was about to be torn apart. What the hell is this? Heavenly Underworld Saint's face changed when he felt his energy being torn apart and crushed. This is my chaotic space. Even if you want to run, I'm afraid you won't be able to. Long Xianxing continued to wave his arms, and streams of energy entered the yellow spherical space, increasing the power of the chaotic space. Heavenly Underworld Saint continued to attack the spatial barrier with his sword. However, as soon as the sword chi left his sword, it was destroyed by the chaotic space. The damage to the spatial barrier was very low, and it was impossible to break it. This is a heaven-defying method. Flying Tiger Saint sighed. Just now, when the few of them joined forces, they were still unable to resist Heavenly Underworld Saint. But now, Heavenly Underworld Saint was completely suppressed by Long Xianxing. Of course, Heavenly Underworld Saint was not willing to be beaten up passively. He continued to attack the spatial barrier of the yellow spherical space. However, as the chaotic space continued to attack, the strength of his attack on the spatial barrier was very low, and there was no possibility of breaking it. Square root ZS** 9 version head M hair, you can still resist, then let's continue to add more energy. Long Xianxing waved his left hand, and a stream of fiery red energy entered the yellow spherical space again. As the fiery red energy entered, the energy attack of the chaotic space became stronger. Heavenly Underworld Saint had to use all his strength to support his protective shield to resist. At this time Long Xianxing sat down cross-legged. With a wave of his left hand, the khaki-colored space moved above his head. Then, he continuously injected energy into the space. Long Xianxing, you are very shameless. If you have the ability, let me out. Let's have a real fight. Unable to break out of the chaotic space, the heavenly underworld saint could only passively let out a roar. I didn't set any traps for you, nor did I use any dishonorable means. The chaotic space is my ultimate move. If you can't break it, then you don't have the qualifications to fight with me. Take it slowly. Long Xianxing waved his hand and sent energy into the chaotic space. This spatial disorder is even stronger than the violent energy attack in the spatial turbulence outside Haotian City. If this continues, Heavenly Underworld Saint's body and soul will be torn apart when his protective energy is depleted, True Sea Saint said with a sigh. Junior, shut up. It's not that easy to tear me apart. Heavenly Underworld Saint tried to break out of the chaotic space. However, even if he managed to break out of the chaotic space, Long Xianxing waved his hand and the chaotic space flew back above his head. As time passed, the Heavenly Underworld Saint became more and more miserable. He had to block the chaotic energy attack in the chaotic space, which consumed a lot of energy. However, he could not break out of the chaotic space. The Heavenly Underworld Saint took out elixirs and resources from his storage ring several times, intending to replenish his energy. However, no matter if it was elixirs or spirit stones, the moment they came out of the storage ring, they would be crushed by the chaotic space. Heavenly Underworld Saint could not protect himself even if he wanted to. You want to replenish your energy and play a war of attrition? You won't have the chance to do so. Long Xianxing said coldly. How can I not protect my elixirs and my protective energy shield? The Heavenly Underworld Saint's face changed. If his energy supply was cut off, it would be difficult for him to hold on. Oh, I forgot to tell you. My chaotic space uses space as its foundation. Together with the support of the earth, wind, and fire attribute energy, it can perform space-skipping attacks. So, don't waste your resources. You won't be able to eat any resources. Long Xianxing said. As the battle continued, the Heavenly Underworld Saint's cultivation was constantly being depleted. If it was someone else, they would not let you live at all. However, I am willing to give you a chance. First, you have to promise that you will not leave the Western Nether region. Long Xianxing said. When did I leave the Western Nether region? You guys are the ones who attacked me. The Heavenly Underworld Saint roared. Also, if there is a war outside the 9 regions, will you participate? If you participate, I will spare your life. If you don't, there is no point in keeping you alive. Long Xianxing said. The Heavenly Underworld Saint tried to break out of the chaotic space 2 more times. However, he did not manage to break out of the chaotic space. Then he agreed. Heavenly Underworld Saint, remember this. Others might not be able to do anything to you. However, if I want to kill you, you will not be able to run away. So, you better not break your promise. Long Xianxing waved his arm. After the chaotic space shook, a part of it dissipated while the other part entered his body. Long Xianxing, you win. I will remember this. Why are you still not leaving? Do you want to raze this place to the ground? The Heavenly Underworld Saint looked at Xianhuan and the others and roared. The main thing was that he had lost face. Let's go. Long Xianxing ignored the flustered Heavenly Underworld Saint and left with Xianhuan and the others. Senior Long Xianxing, you came in time today. Otherwise we would be in trouble. Flying Tiger Saint said. There is still a gap between you guys and him. Cultivate slowly. Time is the best grinding stone. Long Xianxing said. Although the Western Green Sect is not destroyed, it has been crippled. The only one left is Yin. I don't know if she will cause any more trouble. Xianhuan said. You guys can solve her problem. I don't think she will dare to attack anyone easily now. You guys should stay in the Domain C and see when Clear Sky City will appear. Long Xianxing said after arriving at the teleportation array. As long as this Heavenly Underworld Saint doesn't leave the Western Nether region, the pressure on our side will be reduced even if Clear Sky City appears. I wonder if Yin will go there again. Nan Xianxing said as he looked at the back of Long Xianxing. Do you think Long Xianxing didn't think about this? Otherwise, he wouldn't have restricted Heavenly Underworld Saint from leaving the Western Nether region. Now, we just need to be careful of Yin. She is fast and has innate divine ability. It is very difficult to kill her. True Ocean Saint said. Alright, let's go back. We have vented our anger this time. We have endured them for too long. Xianhuan said. She won't attack us because it is not easy for her to kill us even if our cultivation is low. I'm just worried about Night Sorrow. Will she attack Night Sorrow? The reason for this was the assassination of Night Sorrow. Now that things have gotten out of hand, she will hold a grudge against Night Sorrow. Lin Yuandao was worried. Chapter 728. Genius 1 second remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. We can only be careful. Love go little say, Xuanhuan said. No one could do anything about the current situation. They could only be cautious because only Long Xianxia and Xianhuan could defeat Yinxi. Yinxi would definitely avoid the two of them if she made a move. If she avoided Long Xianxia and Xianhuan, the others wouldn't be able to withstand Yinxi's attack. I hope she can take Senior Long Xuanxing's warning into consideration and not act recklessly, True Ocean Saint said. Then the group went to the island in the Realm Sea to set up camp. The matter was basically settled. They still had to look at Haoyan City. Night Sorrow also learned about the battle from Lin Yuandao. Night Sorrow could accept such an outcome because in summary, the Silver Dusk Saint was still a hidden danger. Then Lin Yuandao and the others left. Night Sorrow also planned to move. He gathered the members of the God-slaying squad and told them about the training plan. Then he let everyone out. It should be said that Wu Lingfei let everyone out. She was worried about Night Sorrow's safety and was almost protecting him. After arriving at Haohai City, the group took a flying ship and flew to the island in the Realm Sea. You want to eat the dragon spirit pill? Then you can cultivate with Auntie Fei, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow as they sat in the flying ship. Okay. Night Sorrow nodded. It was indeed time for him to use the dragon spirit pill to cultivate. Soon the group arrived at the area where they had set up camp. None of you have experience in cultivating in the spatial turbulence of the Realm Sea. So, while I'm in seclusion, Xuanhuan and Ling Long will be fully responsible for cultivating in the Realm Sea. Everyone must follow orders, Night Sorrow said to the group of people who had set up the tents. Yes. The members of the God-slaying squad knocked on their breastplates and answered. Nan Liue give them breastplates. Night Sorrow pointed at Liang Yu and Guan Yi. Captain, don't worry. Everything will be arranged. Love go little say, Chunan Liue nodded. Alright, everyone go do what you need to do. Qingzhen stay behind. Night Sorrow nodded and dismissed the meeting. Then he brought Qingzhen to his tent. Brother 13, what can I do for you? Qingzhen asked. It's nothing much. You're not far from reaching tier 5. How's your attribute power training going? Night Sorrow asked as he brewed tea. I'm doing okay with my cultivation. I feel like I'm on the verge of evolving. Right now there is the power of death in my darkness attribute, Qingzhen said. Very good. Here, take these death crystals. If you don't have enough, come find me. Night Sorrow brought out 10 death crystals and handed them to Qingzhen. Brother 13, I don't need that much. I'll take 5 yuan first. Qingzhen took 5 yuan and pushed the rest back to Night Sorrow. That's fine. Come find me if you need it. No need to be so polite. Yishan didn't force Qingzhen. After nodding at Night Sorrow, Qingzhen returned to the God-slaying squad's camp. Then Night Sorrow brewed tea and drank it with Aoi, Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei and Wu Lingfei. We'll be cultivating with the team from now on, Aoi said. Okay. Safety comes first. Don't go too deep into the Realm Sea spatial turbulence. It's not a joke, Night Sorrow reminded the 3 girls. Seeing the 3 of them nod, Yishang was relieved. Then the 3 girls went to their tents. Wu Lingfei also went to the tent that Night Sorrow helped set up. Night Sorrow took out a dragon spirit pill, ate it and started cultivating. Night Sorrow worked hard to cultivate his bloodline talent and soul power while raising his true energy. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, the others did the same. Aoi, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu all ate void pills to raise their cultivation bases. The others followed Xuanhuan, Ling Long, and Liang Yu to the edge of the Realm Sea spatial turbulence to hone their cultivation bases. Night Sorrow cultivated day and night. Refining a single dragon spirit pill took about 20 days. In the Sky Pillar domain, a silver-haired woman in a white dress stood in the ruins of the Silver Demon Villa. Her face was full of anger. She was none other than the strongest member of the Silver Demon clan, Yinxi. How could she suppress her anger when she saw her clan being destroyed? She clapped her hands, sending the broken beams and tiles flying. She growled, Xianhuan, you destroyed my clan. You and I can't exist under the same sky. I'll definitely destroy your Chenji Tower. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. After going crazy for a while, Yinxi calmed down. She knew that getting angry wouldn't solve the problem. First, she had to think of a feasible solution. This time she had rushed back after learning that Xianhuan and the others had gone to the Realm Sea. Yinxi was very strong, but she wasn't Xianhuan's match. Last time she had used her clan's innate divine ability, which had damaged her chi and blood. Although it didn't affect her cultivation base, it had affected her body. This was also why Xianxia had said that she wanted to see how many times she could use the wind essence escape technique. After thinking for a while, she felt that she had to start with Night Sorrow. First of all, everything was caused by Night Sorrow. Also, Night Sorrow's body had been cultivated to the point where his chi and blood were more than 6 meters tall. This meant that he had a body tempering technique. She gritted her teeth and made a decision. She planned to absorb Night Sorrow's chi and blood for her own use. That way she would be able to use the wind essence escape technique without restraint in the future. After leaving the Silver Demon Villa, she went to recover. She needed to recover before doing anything else. Although she hated Yi Shiwen to the core, her many years of cultivation had made her very calm. Even if she hated Yi Shiwen, she could endure it. Night Sorrow worked hard to raise his cultivation base every day. When the Dragon Spirit Pill increased his chi cultivation base, his soul power and bloodline talent also increased greatly. 20 days passed quickly. Night Sorrow's cultivation base had reached the peak of 2nd level Venerable. However, his chi cultivation base was still unstable. This was the drawback of using pills. Night Sorrow's soul power had also increased a lot. The crescent blade of soul annihilation slash was becoming more and more solid. It was sparkling and translucent with a hint of purple. The other 5 bloodline talents were also basically saturated. Their bloodline talents were much more condensed. After leaving the tent, Night Sorrow practiced his spear arts for a while. Then he went to the edge of the realm sea. At this time, the members of the god-slaying squad were cultivating at the edge of the chaotic streams of space. Xuanhuan, Linglong, and Liangyu were a little deeper. The 3 of them formed a line that no one else could cross. If anyone else went any deeper, it would be dangerous. After greeting the others, Night Sorrow entered the depths of the realm sea and began cultivating in the chaotic streams of space. In the chaotic streams of space, Night Sorrow was like an eagle spreading its wings and striking the waves. The captain is getting more and more monstrous, Linglong said with a sigh as she crossed paths with Xuanhuan in the chaotic streams of space. Work hard on your cultivation. His combat ability is already strong. Now that his cultivation base has increased, he's naturally stronger, Xuanhuan said. Chapter 729. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by shao? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Long Xianxing had said that if he found out that she had attacked any cultivator below the saint stage, he would teach her a lesson. Love Gong Shao Se Ku with a threat. She did not dare to be careless. One careless mistake could be fatal. After thinking for a while, she decided to go to the Eastern Shen domain to catch someone that Night Sorrow cared about. In this way she could make Night Sorrow submit without resistance. She had read the information about Night Sorrow's growth and knew some things about him. After thinking for a while, she found a small town and bought a light yellow dress. She also did her hair a little and then took the transmission array to the Eastern Shen domain. She planned to take a risk. As long as she did not meet a saint, her identity would not be exposed. She did not believe that her luck would be so bad. After being transmitted to Dongshan City, she found a tea house to drink tea and chat. At this time, the cultivators in the tea house were all talking about the recent situation outside. They talked about the destruction of several major forces and also mentioned the name of Night Sorrow, the Deputy Valley Master of the Medicine Valley. Where did our Deputy Valley Master come from? She asked. At this time, she was wearing a simple and elegant dress. Her beautiful hair was draped over her shoulders and her face was also very beautiful. She looked like a princess of a big family traveling. No one would doubt her at all. Baidu search Love Gong Shao Shua www.atux. The cultivators in the Medicine Valley who admired Night Sorrow very much told her about Night Sorrow's situation. After learning that Xuanhuan City was the place where Night Sorrow came from, she rushed to Xuanhuan City. When she arrived at a tavern in Xuanhuan City, she heard other people's discussions. Baidu search Love Gong Shao Shua www.atux. At this time, in a corner of the tavern, Qinshan was drunk and shouting loudly, saying that Night Sorrow was not good. That's enough. Did Vice Valley Master Yi treat you badly? I brought you to Dongshan City but you didn't want to go. Instead, you wanted to use Vice Valley Master Ye's reputation to mess around. Who can you blame? It's your sworn brother who has no morals. A Medicine Valley disciple stood up. They could not bear to see others slander Yi Shang. Xi's eyes lit up when she heard the words of this disciple from the Medicine Valley. Since he was Night Sorrow's sworn brother, he must know a lot even without mentioning his value. Shi walked over, waved his arm and subdued Qinshan without anyone noticing. Then he called for a beast carriage, threw Chin Chin onto it and left the city. After leaving the city, Xianxia directly threw Chin Chin into a small forest and then controlled the water energy to rush on Chin Chin's head to wake him up. Stop playing dead, Night Sorrow's sworn brother. You still have some value. Does Night Sorrow have any relatives? Xianxia asked. Sworn brother? Since when did he treat me as his sworn brother? He only has his father in his eyes and doesn't take me seriously. If you want to find value from me, then you're blind. Chin Chin glanced at Xianxia and said, I'm blind. Well said. Now I want to ask you, what's the situation with Chin Chin's father? Xianxia asked while holding back her anger. Give me the spirit stone or I won't tell you. Chin Chin sobered up at this time and understood the situation. He knew that this woman was not simple, so he wanted to exploit her. At this time, Xianxia took out a piece of upper spirit stone and threw it in front of Chin Chin. Tell me. Don't challenge my bottom line. It turns out that you're someone with status and family background. I told you, are you going to kill me? Swear that you won't kill me. Although I also want to kill Night Sorrow, the premise is that I can't die in your hands. Chin Chin looked at Xianxia and said, You're young but you're very scheming. But I admire you for this. I'm the Saint of the Silver Dusk. Your conditions are not bad. Come with me. I'll let you watch Night Sorrow die. Xianxia glanced at Chin Chin. She found that Chin Chin was very scheming. Not to mention his talent in cultivation, this scheming mind could work for her. Saint of the Silver Dusk. You're a saint? Chin Chin asked in surprise. Yes, so you're right to follow me. Now I'm going to catch Night Sorrow's adoptive father. Tell me the details. Xianxia waved her hand and released the restriction on Chin Chin. Chin Chin did not hide anything and then told her about Night Sorrow's interpersonal relationships. We can't make too much noise and we can't catch people randomly. It's enough to catch his adoptive father alone. Xianxia said. She did not want to make a big deal out of it now. The more secret it was, the better. B. Update C. Newbie Fast Q. Then, under Chin Chin's lead, Xianxia and Chin Chin went to the periphery of Xuanhuan Resort. Saint of the Silver Dusk did not make a move. She had been waiting for an opportunity. In order not to alert the enemy, she could only wait. If she used force, the matter would spread. Killing to silence would not work either. The matter would still be exposed. Go and ask Father Gu to come out. Just ask him to come out. After thinking for a while, Saint of the Silver Dusk made a decision. At this time she smiled. Because of Chin Chin's appearance, if something happened to Father Gu, others would only look for Chin Chin. It had nothing to do with her. Chin Chin nodded and entered the Xuanhuan Resort, asking to see Father Gu. Seeing Chin Chin, Father Gu was very angry. What are you doing here? Father, don't be angry. Brother Night Sorrow isn't angry anymore. He's talking with several senior sisters in the city and asked me to invite you over. He also wants me to apologize to you alone. Chin Chin bowed and said, take me to see him. Father Gu snorted coldly. He wanted to ask Night Sorrow why he was paying attention to Chin Chin. He knew that Chin Chin had bad intentions, so there was no need to pay attention to him. After saying goodbye to Hai Luo and the others, Father Gu and Chin Chin left Xuanhuan Resort. After leaving Xuanhuan Resort, Father Gu was restrained by Xianxia. Xianxia just did not want to show up. It was too easy for her to make a move. After all, she just wanted to put the blame on Chin Chin for Father Gu's disappearance. After taking Father Gu hostage, Xianxia took Father Gu and Chin Chin and flew directly out of this area. Then they flew across the territorial sea to the Taiyue domain. After that, they were teleported to a courtyard on the periphery of the Silver Devil family in the Qingtian domain. Xianxia took out a memory crystal and recorded Father Gu's image. Then she said to Chin Chin, since you're following me, I won't treat you badly. It's not a problem to provide you with medicinal pills to enter the 5th or 6th rank. Now go and buy 2 maids back to take care of him. Also, inquire about the people of Tianji Tower and Night Sorrow, mainly Night Sorrow. After Chin Chin nodded, he went out. He knew that his opportunity had come. Following a saint was the dream of many cultivators. Xianxia returned to her original appearance and continued to meditate. At the same time, she was thinking about how to trick Night Sorrow out without anyone noticing. A few days after Chin Chin went out, he returned with 2 maids. Chapter 730. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Xianxia repeatedly told Chin Chin not to touch Mr. Gu. It was not because she was kind, but because she knew that Night Sorrow had a strong character. If anything happened to Mr. Gu, she would have no hope of getting the body refining method that she wanted. After Chin Chin left for a while, Xianxia left as well. She was going to look for opportunities. At this moment, The two maidservants took out the strip of cloth from Father Gu's mouth. Child, those two aren't good people. They kidnapped me to blackmail others. Once she succeeds, she will definitely kill us in order to not leak the secret. At that time all three of us will die. Why don't we escape? My adopted son is a big shot. He's the deputy valley master of the Medicine Valley and the young lord of the Night Moon dynasty. It won't be a problem for him to help you, Father Gu said to the two maidservants. Old man Gu could release his mount to attack the two maidservants, but he still wanted to persuade them. Because if he directly killed or ran away, it would be equivalent to harming the two maidservants. He didn't want to go against his heart. But the soul-cracking crystal has been planted in our heads. It's easy for us to be killed, one of the maidservants said. Baidu search AI go female sign xiao say www.aichuxs.com, we still have a chance to run. As long as we can find the people from Tianji Tower and the Night Moon dynasty, you'll be fine. But if they succeed in threatening us, we'll really be finished, said Papa Gu. His body's energy was being controlled now, so it was best if he could convince the two girls. Sister Hua, what Uncle said makes sense. Those two are not good people. Once they succeed, they won't leave anyone alive. What do you think? The younger maid said. Little star, you might be right. This might be our fate. Let's take a gamble. If we succeed, we'll be free. If we fail, we'll die. There was no meaning in living like this. Love gong little sake ku, the older maidservant, Sister Hua said. Then let's leave quickly. Time is life, Papa Gu said. The two maidservants untied the rope that tied Papa Gu and then helped him out of the courtyard. Wait a moment, I have a mount. Let's sit on it and find the nearest city to use the teleportation array. After they were some distance away, Old Man Gu released the silver-winged eagle and brought the two girls onto the mount. Uncle, thank you for not abandoning us. At this time, the two maidservants understood that Papa Gu didn't want to harm them. Papa Gu. She changed her clothes again and put on a veil. She teleported to Vast Sea City and crossed the Realm Sea to reach the island where Yi Shang and the others were cultivating. She was very cautious. She did not want to be discovered by Xialanjun, Long Shenxing, and the others. Although she could still escape using the wind element escape art, she would suffer serious injuries. She hid her cultivation level because a saint's chi was very sensitive. As long as she exposed her cultivation level, she would be sensed by other saints within a certain range. She was like an ordinary person searching around the island. The island was very big. After searching around for 3 days, she saw the figures of the god-slaying team who were cultivating in the Realm Sea on top of a mountain. Then she saw Night Sorrow entering the turbulent space in the Realm Sea. After thinking for a while, she changed her direction and entered the Realm Sea. Then she headed towards the area where Night Sorrow was. Now she just needed to show the memory crystal to Night Sorrow. By then he would not resist. She lowered her cultivation base to the peak void inquiry stage and headed towards Night Sorrow in the turbulent space of the Realm Sea. Even though she had lowered her cultivation base, her comprehension of the realm was still there. Thus, she moved very quickly in the turbulent space and went past the area that the god-slaying team could detect. As she moved forward, she had the urge to curse because it was very strenuous for her to move forward in this area. However, she was still very far away from Night Sorrow. She could only see a shadow moving in the storm from afar. After raising her cultivation base to the venerable realm, she continued to move closer to Night Sorrow. When she was 10 li * 500 m per li, away from Night Sorrow, she could no longer move forward. Her current cultivation base had already reached the 3rd level of the venerable realm. She did not dare to raise her cultivation base any further as it would be easy for the saints of the Tianji Tower and the Eastern Profound region to discover her. Left with no choice, she took a deep breath and condensed her voice to call out to Night Sorrow. If you want your father to live, hurry up and come out. Night Sorrow, who was moving back and forth in the turbulent space, heard her voice and was stunned for a moment. Then he dashed towards Yinshi's location. You are Saint Yinshi. How can you ignore Saint Long Xuanxing's warning and attack me? Night Sorrow looked at Yinshi coldly and said, Take a look at this first. If you want him to live, don't be so agitated. You can only come with me. Yinshi wrapped the memory crystal ball with her energy and threw it to Night Sorrow. After receiving the crystal ball, Night Sorrow moved his body to avoid the turbulent space. At the same time, he activated the memory crystal ball and watched it. After watching it, Night Sorrow was infuriated. Yinshi, you are also a dignified saint. There is no need for you to use such a despicable method, right? You guys forced me to do this. I won't fight you either. Are you coming with me or not? It's just a matter of a sentence. She looked at Night Sorrow and said. She didn't dare to make a move now. Although she wanted to grab Night Sorrow and leave, it was very difficult to catch Night Sorrow if she didn't raise her cultivation. If she raised her cultivation to the level of a high-level saint, she would be easily discovered by xianxia and the others. This was also the reason why she wanted to catch Father Gu. Update % latest unspecified currency cent. I can go with you, but you have to promise not to hurt my Father Gu. If you want to let him go, you have to swear to the heavenly Tao. Night Sorrow exhaled and said. Although he knew that it was dangerous to follow Shi, he couldn't ignore Father Gu's safety. In Night Sorrow's heart, Father Gu was his family. When he was young, he sat on Father Gu's shoulder every day. Night Sorrow would never forget that because of him, Father Gu lost an arm. Night Sorrow already felt very guilty, so he didn't want Father Gu to be hurt again. I admire you for this. Come with me. After Shi swore, she shouted at Night Sorrow and left horizontally. She couldn't be discovered by the members of the god-slaying squad, so she had to avoid their line of sight and go ashore in another area. After going ashore, she didn't use force and continued to walk to the other side of the island. She didn't dare to use her cultivation here. When she arrived at the area leading to Haohai City, she looked at the realm sea and turned around. She reached out and grabbed Night Sorrow to her side. Then she wrapped Night Sorrow with her saint's rule power and began to fly across the realm sea.